Doggo is always ready. Hello.
You're right.
Good evening. And just testing the sound. So someone say something.
Something.
Should I turn my
No, please
voice
don't.
changer
No,
back
it's
on
fine,
before I
it's
say
fine.
something?
The check
No,
has
please don't. No,
completed
no,
perfectly.
no.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Are you sure? Because I got a really long copy pasta I can say.
No, please don't. Hello. Good evening and welcome. Not to Cypher System and not to Gilded Age, but to a bonus story. In lieu of a couple of players, we have decided for tonight that we are going to celebrate the best season of all seasons, Spooky Season, with a little bit of a Halloween one-shot. I am D, or Night Wanderer, and I am the DM in this game. I am here to... What am I here to do? I am here to scare, regale, and prepare my players for a fun time. Now, before we tell you all whom we are playing, because we still do not know who we are playing, we are still going to introduce ourselves. So, John, who are you?
Well, you see, Waluigi is the ultimate example of an individual shaped by a signifier. I'm John. I will be playing...
Excellent.
At least you're using your normal voice.
Yeah. And Glitch.
Hi, everyone. I'm Glitch.
Adam.
I'm here way too often.
Way too often? Nah, not often enough.
Hi, I'm Adam, and today I will be playing an unspecified person, presumably,
Specimen.
in a yet to be determined game of sorts.
Excellent. And Alice.
I'm Alice, and hopefully I will play someone who will survive this cabin that has nothing to do with Woods one-shot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I want my character to secretly be an Eldritch Horror.
Secretly?
That's the
Yeah,
point
yeah.
of this game. Like, everyone rolls with a d6, but one character is an Eldritch Horror, and they roll with d8s.
Oh, yeah.
No, so, what we are doing tonight is, and this is absolutely not self-serving in any way, obviously, but we are playing a system that I have created called 123d6. I have been talking about it for quite a while on our outros since we have started streaming this game, and now I thought is a good opportunity to display it a little bit. 123d6 is a very simple system. It is also a very free system that you can grab on my itch page, but we'll come to that at the end of the session. What it consists of is essentially 3 words that tell you how many d6s you add to your pool, and based on that, you roll and you resolve conflict. 123d6 is made to be system agnostic, not system agnostic, but theme agnostic, so you can fit it to any given theme. Our tonight's theme is the cabin and the woods, which is just a little bit of a riff on, you guessed it, The Cabin in the Woods. One of my favorite kind of horror movies, but not really. So here's what the first thing is that we're going to do. The first thing that my players are going to decide is, do you want to be the people in the cabin or the creatures in the woods?
Both would be very fun.
I mean, if you give me the
Yes.
opportunity to be a monster, that's always the opportunity that
Yeah.
I'm going to take. But
Perfect.
I am kind of leaning towards slasher monster, yes.
Excellent. Then we are going to be monsters. So this time around we are playing the woods. Here's how this is going to work. Within this system, the character creation is very simple. Your characters start with 10 out of 10. Essentially, they count as life points, right? They're kind of like your health, your mana, all of your resources are just like your 10 points. For this game, because we are playing the monsters, we are going to call them scares. So everyone has 10 scares to their name. You get to pick what kind of monster or slasher villain you wish to be. In order to do this, there's 2 things that you need to do. The first thing is you need to decide on a noun, an adjective, and a verb. This is very similar to the way Cipher system works, except that you don't have a list of things available to you to choose from. You just choose whatever your noun is. Now, I am going to just give you a little bit of a background how the system works. I have placed a little, like, very quick breakdown on our, on this side. I always have to check where the camera is pointing. But next to our cameras, where you usually see the amazing character art and the character stats of our Cipher system characters, is just a very quick breakdown on how it works. Essentially, your noun, your adjective, and your verb add to your pool of dice. If your noun applies to any given situation while you're trying a task, you add 1 die. If your adjective applies, you add 2 dice. If your verb applies, you add 3 dice. So, for instance, if you are a firefighter who is quick and who jumps off of buildings, if you needed to somehow very quickly jump off a burning building, you would add 6d6 to your dice pool. The maximum for a dice pool is 66. If you get more than that, you just stick to the 66. That's the maximum amount of dice that you can generally roll. For this game, we're going to have a couple of exceptions. In addition, you can spend from your pool of points or scares. For every scare that you spend, you can add another die to your pool. So, for instance, if you're up against a difficult task and neither your noun nor your adjective nor your verb applies, you can spend scares from your pool to add dice to it. You always roll against the difficulty that I give you. If you succeed against, every die that comes up 5 or 6 is a success. Everything that's 1, 2, 3, or 4 is a failure, or like not a success essentially. If you meet or beat the difficulty, you succeed, obviously. So if a difficulty is 3, you have 3 successes, you've succeeded. For every success that you are above the difficulty, you regain a point to your scare pool. If you don't succeed, for every point that you are below the difficulty, you lose a point from your scare pool. If you roll all 6s, it's a critical success. If you roll all 1s, it's a critical failure. The gain and the loss double in this case, and other fun stuff happens. And that is the system. So for our noun, I'm going to say you can choose anything really, but you can also choose just like an archetypal kind of villain or slasher monster. So it's like you can choose I am a vampire or I am whatever like Freddy Krueger is. You can choose whatever you like for your nouns. So let's pick our nouns first if we have an idea about that.
I'm bad at coming up with things, so I have pulled up a random noun generator.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep going until I find what I like.
Hunter.
Hunter? Yeah, perfect. You're a hunter.
Also, I've been watching a lot of Dead by Daylight, so
That is fair.
I'm kind of loaded on slasher villains at the moment.
Perfect.
All of these are so bad. Please.
If you wanted to be an eldritch horror, you could put horror in here as a noun, for instance.
Oh yeah.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. You could be Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Okay, there's one I like. I got Enigma.
Enigma. Beautiful.
Ooh.
Like that.
That one feels good for
Feels good.
spooky.
Yeah. Awesome.
Can I go with witch?
Witch, absolutely.
Perfect.
You are muted.
That is my adjective. How about doll?
Doll? I love it.
Oh God. Please no dolls.
Okay, so now we need a adjective. Again, adjective can be anything. Usually a description of you know, some sort of specific trait that your character has that is particularly that defines them particularly. Again, the way that it works, like the noun is the most general thing, which is what you're going to be applying to most things as long as you can satisfy it, which is why these nouns are all good, like a hunter, a witch, a doll, and an enigma all can be applied in a very versatile way. And now we need to go a little bit more specific, so we're talking about adjectives, something like quick, eldritch, for instance, if we were going with eldritch horror. Something that defines essentially the flavor of what you said you are.
So, like, if I said undead, would that
Yes,
fit the criteria?
absolutely.
Okay. I'm gonna be an undead hunter.
Excellent.
Oh,
Someone who
like
hunts
that.
undead, or a hunter who is undead.
Well,
Yes.
First one, then the
well,
other.
Both.
Oh yeah, porque no los dos.
First, in this case, it is a hunter who is undead because it is that would be the adjective. If you wanted to hunt the undead, that would be the verb then.
How about I'm a tiny witch?
Yeah.
Because I can't think of an adjective that fits, is not extremely stereotypical.
Because I feel like it can be spun in fun ways, I chose nostalgic.
Nostalgia.
Ooh.
Okay, that's good.
Interesting.
It was like the
I'm
first
gonna
one
go
that popped up, and I was like, "Ooh, I could do something fun with that. I guarantee
That's
I
great.
could."
I'm gonna go with friendly.
Friendly doll. Okay.
Oh, I hate it.
So we've got a friendly doll, a tiny witch, a nostalgic enigma, and an undead hunter. Beautiful. Love that. Loving the characters so far. And what about
Just for me to be sure, are we in the woods or are we in the cabin?
you are you are
We
in
are
the
the
woods.
woods.
You are the woods. You represent
Okay, we are the woods.
the horrifying unknown, the mystic horror that hunts those who have dared to come for their holiday in the cabin in the woods. You are the monsters who eat the survivors. And now we need a verb,
Okay.
and the verb is something that is specific. So, for instance, in the case of a witch, it would be something like brews potions, or like casts curses, or like just like something very specific to your character that they do particularly well. So this is, for instance, for a hunter, it could be like specifically traps or tracking or like whatever. Like it doesn't need to be hyper specific. We're not saying like a hunter who specifically knows what the blood of like redheads smells like.
Yeah.
That is too specific, but like something that defines your character from among the pool of archetypes of that kind.
Yeah, I was thinking like undead hunter who implements traps.
Yeah, perfect. If you want, uses traps. And do you have a name for your hunter?
Argyle.
Argyle. I love it.
Okay.
And much like his namesake, he wears a terrible patterned, torn up
Love
like
it.
shirt.
Love it.
Dag.
Oh my god, I'd like to to use brew potions
Okay, sure.
as my verb. But because I'm tiny, for me, it's a huge potion. For everyone else, it's a shot.
Obviously. Bruise shots. Love that. And do you have a name for your witch?
I am consulting a name generator.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say Constance at first, and I was like, oh yeah, that is a good
Constance.
witch.
Constance, the tiny witch who makes shots.
I like Constance. I'm Constance now.
There you have it.
Hmm. I can't think of anything better, and the only thing that's coming to my brain right now is like exchanges memories.
Ooh.
That's cool. That could be
That's
fun.
all I got.
Do you have a name for your enigma?
I'm just gonna pull from names that I already have for characters that in my book because that's the only names I'm gonna be able to come up with right now. Asking me for a new one is a lot. I'm gonna go with Aria.
Aria? Is that with a Y? Or
No, Aria.
Aria is an enigma, is nostalgic, and exchanges memories. Okay. And Adam.
Hugs.
Hugs.
Why is yours the most scary?
This is psychotic Care Bear. Do you have a
The
name for your friendly doll who hugs?
baby peekaboo.
Baby peekaboo.
Oh, that's
I hate it.
This will give me nightmares.
terrible, awful.
Baby
I'm so excited.
people.
Dee gave me the assignment. I'm just turning in the work.
Yeah, no, Adam absolutely
He's
understood.
really aiming for A plus.
Mm.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
It's fun. I just need to change this up. We're gonna make it like this, and all sixes critical. Put it like that, and then we can put our characters up here.
Yeah, I agree with Ben. Glitch. I can't really think of anything. Also, Glitch comes up with the coolest idea ever.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Unintentionally. Sometimes I have good ideas, guys. Sometimes unintentionally things I do are
Just have to unleash them.
decent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Give
And
them permission to exist.
Sometimes occasionally, like my body subconsciously remembers, oh yeah, you're a writer.
yeah. Sprinkle some awesome across the world. And as you can see with that, our character creation process is already done. We have 4 characters. We have Baby Peekaboo, who is a doll, who is friendly and who hugs. We've got Constance, who is a witch, who is tiny and who brews shots. And we've got Aria, who is an enigma, is nostalgic and exchanges memories. And we've got Argyle, who is a hunter, is undead, and uses traps. Now, the beauty of this system is that you can always like play around with it a little bit. You can always add your own spin, your own rules on it. And so for this, we are going to. I'd considered what I'm going to do if you're going to do survivors, and what you're going to do if you're going to do monsters. So for doing monsters, we're going to have 2 extra abilities. I will be reminding them, you of them, and not them of you, throughout the game. One ability we're going to call a signature trait. You don't have to write down what your signature trait is, but this is kind of like whenever you can argue that your signature trait is being that can be applied.
Utilized.
So something, yeah, utilized. Thank you. Got stuck there. So, for instance, with Jason from Friday the 13th, his signature trait would be that he is kind of like unkillable. Like he keeps coming back, unless I got like the wrong slasher fic character. Or like
Nope.
with Freddy Krueger, is like he is most powerful when he's in the dream world and stuff like that. So this is like a something that's a signature trait, and whenever that applies, we are going to remove the limit on how many dice you can have in your pool. So you can roll as many dice as you like, but also any loss or gain that you get from that is going to be doubled already. So if you roll so for instance, if you roll 10 dice and get 10 sixes on your 10 dice, you're going to have 4 times the gain from because you get a double from the crit and a double from the signature trait. So it's like kind of like a high risk, high reward type of thing. And then the second one, signature trait, as is due in all slasher fics and in all horror movies, is the secret identity. As long as the survivors do not know something about you that is integral to your character, so something like how to banish you or who you really are or anything, in good old fashion of the slasher fics of like Scream, we are going to ignore any critical failure you score. So as long as the survivors don't know who Ghostface is, Ghostface seems like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys have noticed this as well. But in all of these slasher fics, the killers always seem like they have superhuman like strength, agility, endurance, and all of like everything is way up there until people find out who they are, and then all of a sudden they're just a normal human. And this is going to evoke that. So we're going to ignore any critical failures as long as your secret identity is unknown.
My mind immediately went to, oh yes, like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, exactly. But that is exactly the thing. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You were describing it, and I was like, that's just Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's exactly Scooby-Doo. Yeah, absolutely. Scooby-Doo is just like I would not be surprised if Scooby-Doo were not like the blueprint for slasher fics.
Probably.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yep. Okay. So with that, we are ready to start. Sorry, just read Teen Slayer Simulator 2012. Okay. So, here's what we are going to do. We are going to set the scene. The scene obviously is fall. It is October. The leaves are yellowing and falling down, making a very colorful blanket across the ground. We, as we are used to do, follow the camera of this episode as it tracks a car that moves down a small rural road. It can barely be called a road. It is maybe one step above just a beaten path that's wide enough to host a car. And this car has been on the road for a while, following these meandering kind of curves and winding streets. And it is in a thick forest. And while the forest itself is perhaps no longer as dark as it can get in the summer because of the thick green crowns that the trees sprout to literally block out the sunlight to the floor of the forest, the trees themselves are still thick enough that one does have to worry what is going to happen if one comes across a car that is coming in the other direction, because there is not enough space to move around each other, to maneuver. Some 5 to 10 minutes pass, and eventually the car stops at a clearing that leads up a winding little path up a hill, no longer car friendly. which immediately causes a certain amount of consternation and arguing amongst those within the car as they realize that they have to take all of their suitcases, all of their luggage, all of the stuff that they have brought for their weekend away, that they have to carry all of this by foot up the hill to the house that they rented.
Should have gotten an all-wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. But they didn't think that far, because there, as they enter the car, as they exit the car, we see that they are young people, maybe at most in their mid-20s, somewhere between early 20s to mid-20s. They are very obviously people who intend to go to a party, to make a party, to have a good time. They didn't bring survival gear. They didn't bring anything that would help you in case something unexpected ended up happening. Because, hey, what can possibly go wrong when you go rent a cabin in the woods? Arguing amongst themselves, we're going to say that this was quite a full car. 6 of these young people pile out of it, and each grabs their own suitcase and starts trudging up the hill. About halfway up the hill, there is a fence. They come across the... being attacked by Burger King. Across... when they come across the fence, it is where the path leads. There is a gate that is locked shut with like a chain and a padlock. The co-pilot, the drivers, the God, my words are failing me today. The not driver next to driver seats guy has the
passenger.
The passenger, yes, but not like the front passenger, the important passenger, the shotgun guy.
The passenger princess.
Yeah, the passenger princess. There we go.
I mean, it's what it's called sometimes.
Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
a word.
The passenger princess of this road trip has the key. They put it into the lock, turn the lock. It kind of like falls down, the chains are released, and the gates almost of their own just like creakingly moved outwards, essentially towards them, because the slant of the hill, obviously it's the slant of the hill, nothing untoward happening here, makes the gate kind of like slowly open up towards them with a ominous creak. That again is just due to, rain and rust and disrepair, and nothing special.
Sure.
Perfectly normal creek.
Perfectly normal creak, yes.
Yep.
Like one of those when you kick the door closed and it just goes.
Perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal. And they move on upwards towards the house, and eventually they come across it, and it's a decently sized house. It definitely can easily sleep 6 people. 2 are gonna have to sleep essentially on like the couch or whatever in the living room, because there's 2 bedrooms, but that's fine. It has a nice porch, and the back part of the house, the backyard, is has been evened out a little bit, so there's like, it's not necessarily all steep hill all around the house. The back of it has a little bit of a plateau that has been made so that people can like grill or have like some time outside without having to worry about sliding down the hill. They open the door. The door again, it's just like a normal like skeleton key type of deal. Nothing too fancy. They open it. It's all kind of, the house has been cleaned. This is definitely something that is a good sign. Maybe it's a kind of a weird, off the beaten path Airbnb, but at least it's clean. There's no dust in the house. As they enter, they see the classic kind of like setup of there's a staircase going upwards, there's a room to the right and a room to the left. The end of the hallway is a small little kind of like bathroom/toilet. The right-hand side is a living room, the left-hand side is a kitchen/dining room, and then up the stairs there's one more bathroom and 2 bigger bedrooms. they immediately start going around the house, spreading all of their stuff, choosing where to sleep, choosing who sleeps with whom, where, and the day kind of passes in this very chilled atmosphere of, there's a little bit of unease for these teenagers, or sorry, not teenagers, but these young people, because they the house is still kind of way off road, and it does look old from the outside, and it's kind of like it's got old bones, so to speak, not buried in the cellar or anything. And so the atmosphere starts off a little bit shaky. Everyone's a little bit unsure, and there's always that kind of there's always that slight kind of awkwardness and careful unease that people enter a place with when they like rent an Airbnb or something, because it's not yours. You're kind of investigating where everything is. You're kind of trying to figure out where everything goes and how stuff works. But then towards the evening, they kind of settle into this nice, calm and cozy thing. They've started a fire in the fireplace. It's now started warming up the place, so the cold is gonna be beaten back. Maybe this first night is gonna be a little bit chilly for them, but it's fine. And then at some point, two of these young people go out onto the front porch and sit down and talk to each other in hushed voices. And there's a little bit of a flirtatious to and fro going on. And as they kind of like sit there and talk with each other, they see off in the corner of the porch this old cast iron lantern that has this strange black candle in it. And they figure, let's make a nice little atmosphere here. This cast iron lantern was meant to kind of like create a cozy little light, that enhances the romantic atmosphere of the front porch of the abandoned house in the middle of the forest. And so
Brilliant idea.
they light it, because why not? And it flickers like weirdly alive. Like it's almost like there's a little spark when they light it. It's almost like one of those magic candles that like light up again after you've blown them out. And the flame goes up a little bit, almost like there was maybe a little bit of oil or something on the wick that just made it go whoosh all of a sudden. But then it kind of like settles into its thing, and they kind of like look at the lantern and turn it around a little bit and see like some weird words inscribed on it in Latin, and one of the two kind of like tries pronouncing the words but then gives up after four, and eventually they kind of like decide that it's getting a little bit cold, but they can just leave the lantern out there because nothing's gonna happen. It's a very secure kind of lantern with glass and everything. It's fine. And they go back inside. And then our camera kind of like pans off towards the woods and goes into this darkness within the forest itself, some unknown ways away from both the house and the road, away from everything, away from this world almost, as we enter this kind of concentrated clump of void, the dark heart of the forest. And within that dark heart, we hear the echoing of those four Latin words that are spoken. And with each word, a different pair of eyes opens up within this void. Constance, Arya, Argyle, Baby Peekaboo. You are awake, and hunting season is back on. Someone has summoned your name specifically from the lantern. This strange and ancient artifact that you at some point got bound to, that has, on the plus side, guaranteed your further survival and your eternal existence, but on the downside has also bound you to it, meaning that you absolutely have to spend your time in this dormant state until someone calls your name as it is interpreted by this lantern. Luckily, the proprietor of this house, who also has real estate in several different similarly scary locations all across the globe, from Scare B&B, makes sure that there is a regularity of, let's call it takeout, delivered to the property. Obviously, if you get woken up or not, it depends entirely on those who read the words. But tonight, or at least this weekend, is your lucky night, or at least weekend. You know what the task is. Get all of those survivors to stop breathing. So, let us describe what the characters look like and see what your first moves are going to be.
Are we presumably spread out all over the woods in various locations, or?
So, both yes and no. The moment you wake up within this kind of like strange amorphous void. And in this moment, you are also aware of each other. You are aware that you are to work together. Like you can, it's not a competition. It's not who kills the most. It's you work together to kill them. If everyone dies, or at least everybody needs to die, or at least most of them. You can afford to lose one survivor. Like there can be one survivor of this ordeal, or everyone can die. But it is your task to do it. If you manage to kill everyone or everyone but one, their souls are fed into the void, and the void rewards you with a little bit of that energy, feeding you and sustaining you. And as you, sorry, to continue answering your question, as you wake up in the void, you become aware of each other. You also know where each is spread across the forest, but once you leave the void and enter the real world, you will be spread across the forest at your respective resting or banishing places.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so Baby Peekaboo is a small baby doll, wearing a very stereotypical little boy's like sailor outfit, the little white shirt with the blue tie and the blue shorts and the black shoes. His skin is porcelain, but very weathered and dirty through time. There's sort of a stain across half of his face that just seems like water damage or something, maybe, but it just kind of masks part of his face. He has one singular, like little blonde curl of hair that just kind of pokes up from the top. His eyes are mechanical. When they close, they're fitted in such a way that it almost looks like he just doesn't have eyes. But they have hinges so they can just kind of snap open. So when he awakes in the void, he kind of takes a deep breath. Oh, yeah. Wake up, fuckers. It's showtime. And he comes to in the base of a very old hardwood tree with an opening in it, sitting next to what, if you were to inspect more closely, are the remains of a child skeleton inside the tree.
Every time Adam makes a character, I am on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I know, right? Every time. Every single time. It's amazing.
I'm gonna go on at character creation, I swear. Oh, that's great.
Just fucking Boston mobster baby turned doll. Love it.
Oh, this is great.
Beautiful. Who wants to go next?
I can.
Yep.
So, probably some indistinct partial clearing in the woods where if you look around close enough, you could still find like the remains of a house and like a barn, just things that have been burned and rotted away to almost nothing over the years. Towards the center of this property, a figure is going to start clawing its way out of the ground. It appears to be a large, muscular man, but in the light of the moon, you can see just like horribly decayed skin. This terrible plaid button-up he's wearing is all ripped and torn. Same with his camo pants. Big old heavy boots and like butcher's gloves. And a burlap sack pulled over his face. As he's standing up, like bits and bops are popping back into place, and he's gonna reach behind him and pull this very old looking dagger out of his back and put it into a sheath on his little rope belt, and he'll say, "The hunt is on." He will reach back into the dirt and pull out this really terrible, and I mean that in the sense of like terrifying, like almost homemade looking axe, and he is going to start slugging into the woods, or not slugging, skulking into the woods.
Slugging.
Yeah, he'll get there by morning. Don't worry about it.
He'll get there.
He'll get there eventually. It's fine.
Alrighty. Who wants to go next?
Yeah. I don't mind going last.
Okay. Then it's me. Constance is obviously very tiny, so I would say she's like, how do you call this part of an arm?
Forearm.
The under part of an
Forearm?
arm. Yes. She's about forearm size, and she has the appearance like one of the Sailor Moon characters. So she's very sweet and cute, and she's tiny. And if you look at her for too long, you maybe get a shot of acid in your face. Who knows? And she appears, like always when she appears, somewhere completely else in the forest, because some of the birds always mistake her broom as a usual branch and weave it into their nests. So she starts the hunt with destroying a nest to get her broom, and then she jumps on her broom and flies towards whoever is closest to her from the group. And as always, she's so excited and, hey, have you ever been on a hunt together? I don't know. I think we will be friends.
Constance is officially my favorite character.
Yeah.
I love her.
Just like the literal the literal epitome of killing someone with kindness.
Yeah.
Love.
Maybe she does a Sailor Moon dance when she appears.
Yeah. I was about to ask, like, does she live in like a small doll house that's on an actual chicken, like, because she's so tiny, like Baba Yaga's dollhouse.
The baby Yaga.
Yeah.
The baby Yaga.
Oh, baby Yaga.
Baby Yaga.
Yeah. No, I think she wants to, but the birds always steal her broom, so
Yeah.
she,
It's
every time the same.
horrible. Absolutely. And finally, Arya.
I really like the concept of Baby Yaga. Sorry, that
Yeah, the
got
baby
me.
Yaga is amazing.
Okay. I think I was trying to think like I think Arya would more so kind of almost like she is appearing from the mist itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't kind of just show up like everybody else. She kind of like fades in, sort of. Um, Wearing all black. And her hair is tied up, but if you look at her for long enough, it doesn't stay that way. If you look at her and like just stay looking at her, you can see, kind of see clear features. Black eyes with like a reddish tip to them, regular, black hair that's tied up and not neat at all, black clothing. But if you look away or you're not quite looking straight at her, her features kind of shift and change. Not like a shapeshifter, because I've already done that before. But almost kind of like a glamour of sorts. Like her features never stay in one thing for long, sort of like a glamour, but they change into facial features that other people recognize from people they've seen in the past. It's always somebody that they recognize, never a stranger. And she kind of peers kind of from the mist and just kind of like with a sort of almost like annoyed little like yawn and stretches like, do we have to be yelling right as we've woken up? Can't we show a little decorum? And starts walking and heading towards the others.
Yeah. And it doesn't take long. Like, you guys have this kind of, it's almost like, it's strange because it's almost like a telepathic kind of connection. Like, you can talk to each other across any distance, but you still actually have to talk. Like, it's not an exchange of thoughts. You actually have to say the words. It's almost like a supernatural walkie-talkie that you guys are possessed of. Um, and you kind of like move your way towards the hut and sorry, towards the house, and eventually you all kind of congregate right at this kind of gate that the young people had previously unlocked and opened. And this gate, this fence in general, the issue is that this has been made out of the same sort of banishing and banning cast iron material that the lantern is made of, which means that you guys cannot easily cross this fence unless it is open, which means that you also why you kind of like cannot be summoned unless it has been opened. However, almost like greeting an old friend, the gate swings slowly back open again for you. There is this kind of creak to it that is slightly different. It is not the same kind of like ominous creak that the kids got, but instead it's kind of like this more sonorous, like as the house welcomes you to the hunt. So, you have a little bit of a ways up to the house, but you can easily traverse it. There's nothing untoward about that would require any rolls or anything. But what would you like to do? At this point in time, all 6 of your targets are within the house. The lantern has been left on the porch burning. You know that the lantern is safe. Like this thing is magic. This thing is supernatural, and it is not going to. The only way that it's going to get knocked over and start like literally catching a flame, the house, is if you guys decide that that is the way to do things. But that is also dangerous for you. Like you gotta like that is something that's kind of like a last ditch effort that is very, very dangerous.
Plus, that's just no fun. That's too easy of a way to kill everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is
It's a
supposed to
fun
be fun,
vampire.
There's supposed to be like there needs to be aplomb and gusto and style to this. So, what do you guys do?
Well, I'm gonna remove the source of egress. I would like to knock a tree into the road that leads away from the cabin.
Ah, wonderful.
Smart.
Oh.
Yeah, perhaps a little ways down the road. You know, like not so it's not like in view of the cabin itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that is fine. Okay. Let's see about this. This is not going to. Well, yeah. This is going to be just a difficulty 2 roll. So you start off whenever you roll. You start off with a pool of 1d6, right? You always roll at least 1d6. let's see what applies. You are a hunter. That would definitely apply. So you add one more die for that. Can you in any way argue for
I'm
undead or using traps for this?
Well, I am physically trapping them. Like, I am removing their methods of escape.
That is a good argument. You can add another 3d6 to your pool because of using your uses traps.
And undead are strong, so I can do this quicker than the mortal guy could.
Sure, you don't feel the fatigue that a lumberjack would feel. Yeah, I'll allow it. So that
Oh
is
boy.
that would add another 2d6, but since our cap is 66, you just roll all 66. You're looking for at least 2 successes. That's 2 5s or 6s. Or like a 5 and a 6.
Wow, you won't believe it. I got 1 5, 3 4s, a 3, and a 2.
Okay. 1, 5, 3, 4. So that is 1 success. Unfortunately, you did not succeed in this. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to be yes-ending here. We're not going to just block you off from things. So while you do kind of, you manage to kind of cut the tree down, and it proves to be stubborn. It proves that apparently you've chosen a tree that is a little bit too far away from both the dark heart of the forest and the cabin, which means that it is alive and virile and a good healthy tree as opposed to the very creepy spooky horror ridden trees of the rest of the forest. So due to this it resists your attempts to cut it down, and while you imagine you eventually manage to cut it down to so that it falls over in such a way that it is not very, like, it's blocking the way, but it's not blocking the way quite as well as you would like it to. So there will still be a way for them to get around it. Like, they would still have a chance to get around it if they ever started running away this way, instead of it just being a complete blockage. Which means that later down the road, if it comes to this, you will have a lessened chance, or rather a greater difficulty of actually hunting them down because of this trap. Like, it will add less help. Also, because you were 1 success under the difficulty, you lose 1 scare.
Oh no. So yeah, he's going to look at the like the sap coming out of this tree, and then like look at the very clear divide of living forest and evil forest, and just over the telepathic network, I have miscalculated mildly.
Performance anxiety happens to everybody. You got to take better care of your tools.
I'm sure you did the best.
Or just get completely new tools at this point.
No, I think that was
There's
the
an
best
idea.
idea, and you did everything right. Everything is okay.
Let's
Yeah,
just
I love
make
the
sure
supportive
that
little
nobody
goblin.
ends up
How is the Wi-Fi connection in this region?
That's such a...
Are you
going with that?
I mean,
Because-
it is spot. The house itself doesn't have a router or Wi-Fi itself. The house, so they're basically, if they took any Wi-Fi with them, which they may or may not have. Let's see if they have. They haven't. So they're all kind of like, they're reliant on the signal of their phones. They do have like internet packages on their phones, but signal itself is spotty at best. So it's going to be one of those appropriately inappropriate timing for the signal to come in, to disappear for them or reappear for you. So it's like, it's not the best,
Okay, so
but it's not. Yeah, it's not good.
There
but
is
some, yeah.
a signal, and they might be able to call for help. In this case, I am a witch, and I have weird potions and shots in my tiny pockets. And so I take out one of the shots and open it. It's a mist shot that stops all the signals, because I'm a witch and
Magic.
normal potions are boring.
Yeah,
And I'm magic, yes.
absolutely.
So I would like to open a potion shot that, yeah, basically cuts off all phone signals and Wi-Fi and everything.
Okay. So let's have a roll for this. This is a bit of an advanced thing. So we're gonna say this is, let's call it a difficulty 3 for now. Let's not go overboard. You're a witch, so that definitely applies. So that's plus 1d6. So you have a pool of, you start with a 1, you get another 1 for your noun. Bruise shots obviously apply, so you get another 3 for that. So you have a total of 5d6. If you want, you can spend 1 scare to add like another 1d6. And I am going to also say, if you want, you can define your signature trait to be just like your shots or your potions just defy any sort of logic. So it's just like random bullshit can be made in shot form. So
Oh
if you
yeah.
want to apply that trait, you can that trait. If we want to define that as your trait, like the shots can just like do anything, completely ignoring the logistics of like the way a shot works or something drinkable.
Yep.
Then we can say that the limit would be removed, which means that you could spend any number of scares to add that many dice to your pool and make like a giant pool if you want. Do keep in mind that your scares are also at the same time your health. Kind of, if you get to 0 scares, you're kind of like you're out, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so you know,
I'm fine with my pool of
5d6.
5.
Okay.
Yeah. So, ooh, I only have 4d6 in front of me, so I have to throw one again.
Yep.
And that is, I am not lying. 1 5, 2 3s, and the other one was a 2.
Okay. So you have
My potion is potioning.
your potion. You have a 1 5, 2 3s, and a 2. And
Yep.
what, you're still missing one?
No,
Like
1 5, 3 6.
3
5
sixes.
6 6 6. Yes.
3
So
sixes.
4
Wow, beautiful.
successes.
Beautiful.
It is the potion of potions.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that's 4 successes against a difficulty of 3. You gain 1 scare, so you're at 11 scares now. And
Yes.
describe what this looks like as you create this potion and unleash it. The Wi-Fi and signal are completely blocked for as long as this potion is in effect.
Nice. Constance opens one. It's like the standard, usual potion bottle form. Most of her potions are in the same kind of classes, so it's sometimes hard for her to tell, is it something, is it a healing potion, is it acid? Who knows? We will see it. And in this case, she picks the white potion that has blackish, misty trails in it, and unplugs it and puts it somewhere up a tree, somewhere where the humans don't find it. So as long as it's, how do you say, vaporizes into the air, and the potion is working and doing what the potion is supposed to be or supposed to do, they can't reach it and hopefully can't find it. And then she tells the others they can't call for help now.
Yeah. And there's this kind of like mist. It's almost like the black tendrils that are in this potion almost like come up and kind of like
Yeah.
around, almost like little legs, and they kind of like turn the shot glass upside down. And as it's turned upside down, this thick white mist kind of like starts pooling out of it and rolling like in this kind of like very heavy, thick way across the field. And actually, this entire area of the house now gets covered in this kind of like thick fog that blocks all signal to the outside world.
And also attracts dogs.
And also attracts dogs.
Very important.
Yes.
Most
Alrighty.
important.
So the way of the way of escape has been somewhat blocked. The signal has been completely jammed.
What does it sound like they're partying on the inside? Like people are awake and doing things, or is it like
Yeah, it
bedtime.
sounds like they're awake and doing things. Like it's not necessarily like there is a little bit of music being heard, but it's not like obnoxiously loud music of them damn whippersnappers. It's more like they've just got like some mood music in the background and stuff, and are talking. They're having like a nice little chatty time.
Yo. You know how long it's been since I had fresh fruit? I hope one of them tastes like persimmons. Baby Peekaboo is going to look for a ride. So he's going to look around the doorways for somebody's luggage or bags or something that they may have not finished fully unloading or taking in, and just kind of stow away to be found at a later date.
Okay, okay. Yeah, let's have a roll for that. That's going to be a difficulty. Yeah, that's going to be a difficulty 3 roll. So what are we using here? We're using a doll. Because
Fits in a
dolls,
bag.
yeah, fits in a bag. Doll would fit, so you would have a pool of 2d6. How would you try to argue for friendly or for hugs in some way?
Could you? Sure. Should you? Well,
He's trying real hard to think of something though.
I would argue that having them carry me into the house is much friendlier than kicking in the door and tearing people apart.
Fair, very fair. We can add the 2d6
so
for your
true.
adjective.
And as far as hugs, I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to try and make that argument. I probably could, but it would be bullshit.
Okay. Well, you have 4d6 in your pool at the moment. You can spend scares to add on a 1-for-1 basis up to 66. Or unless you want to define your defining trait or your signature trait that has something to do with this, something like always popping up in unexpected places or whatever.
That was going to be his signature. Is more like you can't get rid of him. It's like the doll. You find it in the bedroom, you throw it in the garbage, and then you go back in the bedroom and he's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Extremely creepy.
So with that trait defined, you can spend as many as you want scares from your pool to get as many dice as you want. You do not have the limit of 66.
Okay. Let's see. So I'm at 46 currently.
Yes.
I will spend 3 scares.
Okay, so you're up to 76.
Wow. I gotta roll one more. Yeah, now that was 1 success
1 success. Okay.
out of 7 dice.
1 success out of 7 dice. Yikes. Now, when your signature trait is applied and your limit is removed, your loss or rather gain is doubled. So, because it was a difficulty 3 and you had 1 success, you lose 4 scares.
Ooh.
Seems rough, but you can get back relatively easily. You just need to roll a couple of successes and you're back on the horse.
Sure.
Yeah, so you kind of like look around, try to find some bags or something that have not been brought in, and apparently it seems like these guys are actually like very vigilant about their luggage. They all took only like 1 hand luggage. Maybe it was an argument because there were 6 of them to 1 car, so they all had to limit like the size of luggage that they had for the weekend and everything. And while you do find a bag, you unfortunately cannot fit into it because it's just like this tiny little clutch that has been left sitting out near the steps that lead up to the porch. So you could like
Fucking designer Versace bullshit. Give it a kick.
Beautiful. But as you kind of like give it a kick and it kind of like falls over, you realize that it was like placed very conveniently right where there's an entrance to the crawl space underneath the house. So you would at least for yourself and for Constance have found a way to like get inside without opening a door or a window, because there's probably from that crawl space going to be some point where you are going to be able to get up and in between the walls of the rooms, because this house is on your side.
Hey,
Good house.
found an entrance. At least for the fun size folks.
Yay!
You're muted, John.
You're muted, John.
Bag trick didn't work.
I was searching it for evidence.
Sure.
Right. I'm very convinced.
Do I need to bring up the tree?
Silence.
Silence, but Arya definitely snickers at that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think she'll walk away as she's snickering. And like kind of like hiding a bit in the shadows, because when you're wearing dark clothes, it's a lot easier to hide in the shadows as to not be noticed, and kind of like trying to like peek through the windows as much as possible. And just kind of sigh and go, all right, how are we doing this? Do we want to separate them and kill them off one by one? I would like to avoid a bloodbath if possible.
So
Where's
no
the fun in
acid
that?
then?
Some of us don't want to get our hands that dirty.
I'm hungry.
But acid.
We could separate and then slaughter.
Yeah. Separation always works.
You think they got any booze in there?
I'm quite
Almost
sure.
certainly.
By the age range, yes, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, love a party.
So you can just go
Oh.
in and party with them. Won't be weird.
Well, then that
Maybe
ruins a
after.
plan of singling them out and killing them one by one. If they notice we're here, that will. I have an idea. And then. So for Arya's signature, I'm kind of thinking like can change like that can change to look like people from a person's past,
Mhm.
and with that like vocal change as well can also sound
Mhm.
like people from their past. Trying to think of how exactly I want to do this. All of them are in the same room right now?
They are all in the same room at the moment. Yes, they're all in the living room downstairs, because it is also the warmest room at the moment, with the fire going in the fireplace there.
So I can't use them against each other. Fuck.
Yet.
Well, yeah, but I can't right now, so that kind of ruins part of my plan.
Your time
Not
will
good
come
enough.
quite soon, I
I'm
hope.
thinking maybe using like her vocal manipulation. I feel like using a voice that they will immediately recognize might tip them off too quickly, because nothing super bad has happened yet to them.
If I may give an idea, since it's literally anyone from like their past, it doesn't have to be a distant past. It can just be whoever the real estate agent is who rented them this place out.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking next, was not quite using their past yet, but maybe
Because it's memories, and everything that happened up to now is memories.
yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll turn into like you said, like the real estate person or whatever.
Yeah. There's
like the owner of the cabin on
yeah, let's say
Airbnb.
Airbnb. The Airbnb agent for America is going to be Janice McPherson.
Okay. I kind of want, instead of her just looking normal, I want her to look a bit haggard too. Like maybe she's been chased by, I almost said a bear, because that's the first thing that came to mind.
Fair.
But clearly, like something is wrong,
Yeah.
so that way maybe a bit more trust is established and they'll be
Mm-hmm.
more willing to tug on the good old
Yeah,
heartstrings.
absolutely.
But before she like goes to enact the plan, she's like, "I'm going to try to do my best to get them into separate rooms. Please do not let my part of the plan be in vain."
Roger.
Can't promise
And
anything.
then
I mean, I
and then
like
she
my
goes
food to go.
to
It's fine.
start frantically like knocking on the door.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's see how well you can pull off the idea of Janice McPherson finding her way to the cabin and having been chased by a nondescript wild animal. Since this is as we are using your signature, their limit is removed. I'm also gonna say it's not gonna be too difficult of a roll. Let's make it a 2 because they don't know where Janice McPherson is. Maybe she literally lives like just across, like just one spooky horror forest over. So it's going to be a difficulty of 2. Let's see, what are we applying here? We can apply, sure, we can apply an enigma. So that's 2d6. How would you have any arguments for nostalgic or exchanging memories?
For nostalgic, no, because they probably wouldn't know her as well as say like an old friend or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I can't think of an argument for that.
Mm-hmm.
For exchanges memories, I mean, my thought process behind exchanges memories was kind of like she can exchange good memories and like give back bad memories, or
Ah,
then
okay,
vice
interesting.
versa,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Um, so I guess to argue it, it could be starting out as kind of like a bad memory of sorts because
Mm-hmm.
it's somebody that they know who's injured and hurt, and like then being taken in and like them trying to help her could
Okay,
then
yeah.
turn
Yeah,
into
yeah,
a
yeah.
good memory that could be used against them
Yeah, sure.
eventually.
I'll allow that. So that's 3d6 more. So you've got a pool of 5d6 at the moment.
That is all I can think of, though. That's
Okay.
it. I have no other arguments.
So you can apply scares from your pool if you want to. The signature trait does apply, so you can go beyond the limit of 6d6. You're currently at 5d6.
Um, I think I'm gonna not get ahead of myself
Good. Okay.
like I always do, and I
Yeah.
think I'm just gonna stick with the 5
5d6
and see
against a
how this
difficulty of
whole
2.
see how this whole goes before I start trying to do more. Okay, let's see. 1, 2. That is 2 successes. I got a 5, a 6, a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Okay, that's on the nose. You kind of like start knocking on the door frantically, and then there's like from within there's like a little bit of a commotion, and then there's like someone saying, "Huh, who's that? What's going on?" And they kind of like the music stops as it's put on pause, and then eventually there's like a little bit of footsteps and stuff going on, and at some point the door kind of like just very carefully creaks open, and you see kind of like this kind of very kind of like tall, very muscle bound, burly blonde guy kind of like just opening the door very carefully. He's opening it with like the door opens in such a way that he's kind of like he's holding his left hand and opening the door like this essentially and kind of like peeking out so you don't see whatever his right hand is, and it seems like he's holding some, like it seems like you see a little bit of the arm kind of like stretched back, so it seems like he's holding something or whatever, and then he goes, Miss McPherson?
I'm so sorry to bother you. And she like is looking as distressed as possible,
Yeah.
really trying to sell the point. I'm so sorry to bother you. I was on my way out of town, but I was close enough to hear, and my car broke down, and I was trying to get it fixed, and then an animal came out of just absolutely nowhere. I know where the medical supplies are in here. Can I just come in and borrow them real quick?
Uh, yeah, I think, just, and then he kind of like, just a moment, and then he kind of like turns around and like there's a hushed conversation between him and a female voice, and it's like, yeah, no, but like, she really looks bad. And Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then
Could
he
I?
kind of like turns around and yeah.
I would like to help with one of my potions that does a very impressive sound of an angry animal
Okay.
that's hunting her.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That's going to be a difficulty to roll. So we are here going to be applying easily witch and bruise shots. So that's a total of a 5d6.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'll stick with that. I love these dice. Okay. 2 5s, 1 6.
Okay, so you're
And
one
I
above, so you gain a scare. And you kind of like, and it's just kind of, well, describe what it looks like. What does this potion look like as you?
It looks like a brownish
Mm-hmm.
fur covered glass bottle. And she opens it and turns it around and pushes on the back
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
slaps on the back of the bottle to really push out the
Yeah.
noises.
And you
And
kind of like open it up and you start like slamming the bottle open, and as you slam it open, like there's this thick kind of like dark brown sludge that just like goops out of the bottle, and every time it hits the ground there's like "Rrrr," and so it's like "Rrrr, rrrr, 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 rrrr."
I also
and
slowly move closer.
um yeah, and so we're gonna add this to hell to like the whole situation. So he goes, okay, yeah, no, come in, Miss McPherson, come in, like, and as you kind of like are ushered in, you see like this very kind of you see also this girl there, kind of black haired, very kind of like nicely dressed, but neither too like it's neither too prim and proper nor too revealing. Like just like someone who has very sensible clothing on, just like jeans and a top and like a blouse or like a cardigan, and she just goes, yeah, no, come in, but you know, like let's see that we can get you like fixed up and back on the road as soon as possible. Like she's obviously like she's fine with helping you. She's like very much into like doing like the good thing and everything, but she still wants to have like the weekend for themselves. She doesn't want you ruining their time. So like there's always this like everything she says has an undertone of we do want you to leave though.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she'll walk inside and just go, "Thank you, thank you. I really won't be long. I just want to get myself fixed up, get what I need to fix my car, and then be on my way. I won't take up too much of your guys' time. Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself."
Yep.
Arya already immediately knows who her first kill is, who she wants her first kill to be. She is like,
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah.
you're not prettier than me. Ha! Arya is a very vain
Very vain enigma
creature.
for
Yes.
for an other dimensional complex kind of
Yes.
concept,
No one
an
is allowed to be prettier
amorphous
than her.
thing.
No one is allowed to think they're better than she
Yeah,
is. Not
absolutely.
allowed.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, so you kind of like go in and you know like the healing stuff is like there's like a little bit of a like a pantry slash closet thing in the kitchen, and that's where also the first aid stuff is.
Mhm.
Do you try to get anyone with you, or do you go on your own way? Because like at this point, and you realize that the guy who opened it, Benny, he is kind of like the muscle of the group, and he was holding essentially one of the skillets from the kitchen ready to hit. If you turned out to be someone unsavory, and he's like kind of like just standing in the hallway, sheepishly holding the skillet, like he's lowered it down, and he's just like looking around, like a little bit lost. And next to him is Alice, who is kind of like the one who's kind of like not really into you being there, and she's just kind of like holding her arms together and like holding her cardigan kind of like pulled together and like just looking at you like There's concern on her face, but she's not your friend.
Yeah. I think obviously it's going to be difficult to get Alice separate,
Yeah.
which irks Arya to no end. But in order to ensure things go smoothly, um, she obviously the plan is so to separate everyone and kind of try to get everyone one by one. So I think she would try to get the man whose guilty pleasure is clearly Rapunzel separate, if possible, under the guise of like maybe not being able to reach the medical
Oh yeah,
supplies
yeah,
in
yeah,
like the
definitely.
closet or whatever,
Hmm.
or
Yeah, for
something.
sure. Yeah, and he kind of like comes over into the kitchen, kind of like trying to help you out. Just because I also want to update the thing on the stream layout. Can everyone just run me through how many scares they have at the moment, so we can also keep track for the audience of that?
No, because it's depressing.
I have 9.
9 for Argyle.
I still have 10. I was too scared to use mine.
Scares 9 for Argyle. Arya has 10.
I didn't want to push my luck because usually when I push my luck, it ends horribly for me, as we all are well aware of.
How many does Constance
Yes.
have?
12.
12. Nice. And Baby Peekaboo, I think I know the
Turn
answer,
9.
but
3.
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because it was it cost a little bit to push their luck. But we'll bounce back. Not
Just like
too
babies do. Babies
Just
bounce.
babies bounce. This message is
Right.
not endorsed by the stream.
No babies have been hurt in the
do not try
making.
this at home. Okay, so you're inside. You've got Benny helping you at the moment with getting the first aid kit. What about Baby Peekaboo is? I assume you've gone into the crawl space already, or are you still waiting outside?
Yeah, as soon as the front door business happened, he's
Mhm.
gonna bolt to try and find a way in because
Yep.
they're distracted. So it's like it's perfect time to try and go
Yeah,
infiltrate
exactly. And you
the
use
room or
that
something.
like that baby doll quick movement thing where you're just like a blur, like just like a little skittering thing in the corner of everyone's eye. What about Argyle and Constance? What are you guys doing?
So, Argyle had a couple of ideas. They all involve instilling fear into the young adults,
Fair.
and so yeah, he is. Oh no, because we have to talk out loud to use the telepathic thing, so he can't really talk to Alice or not Alice. Wow, Arya.
I mean, he can talk to Arya, just Arya can't talk back. Well, could, but
Yeah. If you're going to keep up the victim role here for a while, I could quote unquote kill you for some good terror later, but for now I think I'm going to do some free range terror. And I think what he is going to do is he is going to take a crow. Okay. Okay. So here is the idea.
yes.
He is going to shoot a crow with his bow and arrow that he totally has because he's a hunter.
Obviously.
Right.
Yeah. Don't ask Jason where he gets his stuff.
Yeah, no.
It's there.
And he is going to take this crow and as a way to terrorize the teens inside, he is going to do the classic slasher move of putting the crow up onto the door, taking the ceremonial knife out of his belt and like pin the dead crow to their door,
Amazing.
and like do it hard enough that they hear it, and then he is going to, if not melt back into the shadows, like beyond just the edge of the light radius of the cabin.
Yep, that's fine.
Just some classic terror stuff.
Yeah, and this is like a very classic thing. We're not going to have a high difficulty on this. It's going to be a difficulty of 2.
Oh boy.
You are a hunter,
Okay.
so that absolutely applies. So you've got 2d6. You use traps, which I'm going to allow to be argued for with, like, this is sort of a trap.
Yeah.
You're trapping them into opening the door, into like distracting them. It's a part of the whole deal. So you're at a 5d6. You can spend 1 scare to get up to a 66. You can try to define a signature trait to spend more than that to get up there, or you can just stick to the 5d6. You need 2 successes.
I'm going to spend 1 scare because I can't.
Fair.
I haven't thought of a signature for him yet.
Yep. Which is fine.
Okay, so I am down to 8. Oh, nope. I got rid of all the teens on my notes. Okay, so I'm down to 8 scares. So
For now.
for now. Yeet. Mother of God.
It's either good or bad.
Okay, so
Hopefully
it's
good.
bad.
Oh, no.
So I got 2 1s, 1 5, 2 3s, and a 4.
Okay, so that's still...
This is not Argyle's day.
This is not Argyle's day. So you're down to 7 scares because of this. Because you're 1 under the difficulty. Again, we're yes-anding here. So you kind of like... You shoot the crow and it kind of like... It's a bit of a... It's like you shoot it, but unfortunately it doesn't like... You're rusty. Apparently you haven't been back in a while, which would also explain why you have like a bow and arrow and not like a rifle. So you kind of like shoot the crow, but unfortunately the way it was flying, it just turns around at the moment where you shoot it and it just like falls onto the other side of the house. So instead of the front door, you have to actually kind of like go around to the backyard and do it with the back door, which unfortunately it's still going to be heard, but it's not going to be heard by everyone. It's not as close to like the front area where Arya is currently conducting distractions. So it's kind of like the back door thing. You kind of like take the crow and you slam the dagger into the door, and there's like this thunk, but again this kind of like strong push of the knife into the crow. Apparently this crow was like one of the beefier ones, so the muscles kind of like dampen the sound of the thud of the dagger a little bit, so it's not as loud as you would like to. But there's a couple of people, like Arya, you hear from the living room someone go, "Hey, did you hear that?" And someone go like, what's going on? And they kind of like they start kind of like moving around and thinking, and someone comes out and like goes up to you guys and goes, hey, did you hear that? There was like a thunk in the back of the house. And this gives you more than enough time to kind of like blend back into the shadows and remain unseen, Argyle. But so Arya, if you want to, you can try to kind of like you can try to support this. You can try to get them to like move away, because you obviously know what Argyle was intending to do because he communicated this. So you know what was supposed to happen. Apparently it didn't happen at the correct door. Maybe he got turned around, which is weird for a hunter, but like... and that thud was maybe a little less impressive than you would have liked, but yeah.
I think I do need new equipment.
Thankfully, Arya is a good enough actor that she doesn't outwardly react to the annoyance that she's internally feeling at how badly that just went.
Absolutely.
But the moment nobody's looking at her, she rolls her eyes a little bit. She's just like, okay. And then she kind of nods quickly and goes, yeah, I heard that. Should somebody go check and see what that was?
And the guy who came in just kind of like nods and goes, yeah. I'm gonna go check. I think it came from the back. Benny, do you mind? And Benny's like, oh no, sure, here. And he kind of like throws the skillet up and it like flips in the air, and then he grabs it again by the handle, like he's really showing off, and then he kind of like flips it again and holds it by the like the skillet part instead of the handle, like
This
handing
man's
it over
guilty
to him
pleasure is
almost like it's a
Rapunzel. I just can't prove it yet.
yeah. He can, like brings it, like gives it to Betty, and Betty like yeah, sure, and she's kind of like looking at the skillet, and he goes off to check. um so yeah, we are going to cut to Constance. Constance, what are you doing at this moment? So we've at this point, Argyle has moved to the back of the house. We've got Arya in the house, and we've got baby Peekaboo underneath the house. And there's like a little bit of a commotion. So there's one kid is in the kitchen, one kid is in the back of the house, one is in the hallway, and then the other three are still in the living room.
Constance will try to get to the doll
Uh-huh.
because there was a path for
Oh yeah,
the good
absolutely.
sized monsters, so I would like to take that. And Constance has a bit of a feeling that the doll is a bit down and it's not full of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Could I give 3 of my scares to baby Peekaboo by exchanging friendship bracelets in Taylor Swift style?
Amazing.
The real dirty is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Friendship truly is magic, guys.
Yeah.
I love this murderous little good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. I love that. We're gonna yeah, I mean it's and yeah, sure. We're gonna allow this. I'm not even gonna make you roll. I love the Taylor Swift friendship bracelets of doom. So yeah, you kind of like you construct the bracelet, and you just like you're kind of like from within your sleeve, like you pull off like probably a little bit of your witch hair and like braid the bracelet out of that, and then you kind of like out of your sleeve you pull out 3 little beads and put them on this thread, and make this bracelet, and you give it to baby Argyle, baby Pickle, baby Argyle. No, there's an image. You give it to baby
That's a
Pickle.
crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this thing will cheer you up. You see, they're tiny skulls, and I thought you might like that.
You know, I'm not usually the go on steady type, but that's really nice. Thanks, Toots.
Yay!
So
So
yeah,
let's get
we're
them.
gonna transfer that. We're gonna transfer three scares from Constance to baby Peekaboo. So baby Peekaboo is up at 6, and Constance is down to 9.
Yay!
Thank you.
Sure.
So you guys are now in the crawl space beneath the house. What do you want to do?
We could just appear in any of the rooms, and you can act like you're a random doll that has always been there, and I can act like a weird statue or figure or whatever.
Yeah, like I'll take the couch, you take the coffee table.
Yeah,
Just pretend to be
I will
one
do
of
that.
Benny's creepy anime dolls.
I like it.
yeah.
And I know that I'm with Benny, but y'all are more than welcome to kill him while I'm there. Arya's not interested in killing this one. She has a clear target. And it's not this one.
Yep.
So, free reign.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
So you
baby
guys kind of
Peekaboo
like,
is just gonna try and wrangle himself onto the couch and just kind of just be.
yeah, sure. So let's have this. Let's make this a group roll. We don't know the rules for the group rolls because we don't have the rules for group rolls, but we're gonna make some up because that is the lovely part of this system. We're gonna say this is going to be a difficulty 4 total task to get both of you hidden in. If you get at least 2 successes together, you can choose who gets to like which one of you successfully does this and which one doesn't. You're both going to be rolling, and you just need to get a sum total of 4 or more successes. So for baby Peekaboo, we're definitely, I'm assuming, applying both doll and friendly. So that's
Yeah.
1, 2,
I
3,
would
4d6. Yeah.
I would argue hug because a couch is a great place for cuddles.
Sure. Sure. You're up to
You know what?
66. Your signature trait can apply if you wanted to. You know the risks of it. You
Yeah.
can just do 66
Yeah,
if
I
you
think I'll
want.
stay with
Okay.
the count.
And what
Yeah.
about Constance?
I mean, Constance is a tiny witch looking very cute. If she appears on a shelf somewhere, I think that would be okay-ish that they just haven't
Okay.
seen her so far and
Okay.
just discovered her.
So we're applying witch and
Um,
tiny.
and of course, she would also like to add a shot of appearing two-dimensional metallic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like
Like
a
an
2D
She wants to be an acrylic
witch
standee.
statue.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be there.
Okay, so you can, so again, you have the option of using your signature trait or not. If you don't use your signature trait, you will be at 66. If you do use your signature trait, you will be at 7d6 plus the ability to spend scares.
No.
Okay,
6 is
so
okay.
both of you roll 66, please.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes, very nice.
2 successes.
2 successes on the nose.
Yep.
So yeah, you kind of like go through this crawl space, and you know this. You've been here, especially Baby Peekaboo. You've used this. Like this is your bread and butter. This kind of like crawl space and these in between walls and things. And you kind of like come up to a point where you know there's like a little bit of a secret compartment. That's, I mean, it's not so much a secret compartment as it's just like a vent that is next to the fireplace, and you kind of like open it up really smoothly. And now everyone is kind of like out in the hallway and talking to Alice, and so they're kind of like they're still in the room but towards the hallway, so they're facing you with their backs, and this provides you with enough space for you to kind of like move onto the couch, and you kind of like quickly do your little skitter and just like plop yourself on the couch like just the cuddliest, friendliest little homicidal baby doll ever. And for Constance, you kind of like have this little potion, and as you kind of drink it, you kind of like just knock the shot back, and as you do, there's just like this sheen that kind of like comes over you as you kind of get this kind of shiny countenance that makes you look particularly not alive. And you set yourself, so there's in this living room, to describe it a little bit, it's relatively spacious, relatively big. There's a large coffee table in the middle that has like two tiers, like it has as a top glass kind of surface, and then there's a shelf underneath it that would have enough space to host you. There's a large fireplace with like a little mantelpiece that has all sorts of tchotchkes on it and knickknacks. There is a grandfather clock off in the corner, and there's like this big sofa that could easily like sit four people, where Baby Peekaboo is on at the moment, and there's three like extra armchairs spaced around like the coffee table. So it's very much like intended to be a place to have like a cozy time looking at the fire. There's no TV or anything in here, but like the coffee table is also large enough to like have board games on it or whatever. And at the moment, there's like a deck of cards, or like a pile that implies it's two decks of cards on the table, but there's no cards dealt or anything. Like maybe they were preparing for a game but haven't yet started. There's an assortment of various drinks, mostly like tea and coffee, and like maybe one or two beer bottles on the coffee table. And yeah, there's the couch and one of the armchairs have like blankets that have been kind of like now discarded as people have started moving around and started warming up. But yeah, it's like a living room that has started being lived in. Where would you like to kind of be a little witch statuette?
A place that's not too obvious when you enter the room. So a
Okay,
place
yeah.
where no one would question a tiny statue appearing, because it's a place you
Yeah, so
don't look at
you
this
could
place. So
either go onto the mantelpiece because it already has a whole bunch of stuff there, so it's very easy to have missed something there, or you could
mm.
do like some like discarded little corner like next to the grandfather clock, or maybe on like the windowsill or something like that would also work.
Oh, grandfather clock sounds nice.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of like go into the corner where the grandfather clock is, and you kind of like just sit there next to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Arya. We've got Benny there, kind of like looking at you. You hear that there's like a conversation going on in the hallway now as Alice is kind of like talking to the others, and Benny's like, "Okay, so are you good now?"
Yes, I should be fine. Thank you. You're such a dear. She's kind of like laying
Yeah,
it on
yeah,
thick a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit. Like, you're such a dear. Thank you so much for helping me.
yeah.
Um, does Benny like turn to like walk away or anything?
Yeah. He kind of like looks at you and he's like, "Uh-huh, yeah. Okay. Well, you get yourself patched up and yeah. I'm just gonna go talk to my friends. Yeah."
Sounds good. The moment his back is turned, Ari like the smile and the everything drops.
Yeah.
Um, and how do I want to do this? I'm trying to think of how the memory power thing is going to work exactly.
I mean, exchange memories
Okay,
is very
so
open ended. Like there is no we haven't
yeah,
defined what you exchange them with, so it can be like it's very open.
yeah. The my so the concept that I kind of got this based off of is I don't know if anybody I don't what was it called again? I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a kind of vaguely in a way like a Sonic EXE like creepypasta type thing, but like it specifically targeted nostalgia and memories by keeping you trapped in them and like huge prolonged periods of time will pass that you're just like not doing anything but being stuck in those memories and stuff like that. And that's vaguely what I've kind of like
Mm-hmm.
based it off of is being able to like look like people and like that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And so I'm trying to think of like without fully just ripping it off and being stuck in mirrors and stuff like that when you do it, how it would form. I think for now, I it's time to start targeting Alice
Yeah,
because I she's
obviously.
irritated me enough. Um, and using her like voice manipulation powers, um, probably the voice of either like an old friend or a family member or
Mm-hmm.
something. Um, but not it's gonna sound like it's coming from the end of the hallway that Alice is
Okay, yeah.
standing in. So
Mm-hmm.
not near Arya, so you can kind of make it extend
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
little bit from her. Um, but she can only do that if nobody's looking at
Yeah,
her for it to work, obviously, which is why she waited until Betty's back was turned.
absolutely.
Um, as for what she would say, she would probably just at least start with like having that voice just say like just be like echoes of saying Alice's name from
Mm-hmm.
like the end of the hall and maybe something along the lines of either trying to like recall a memory to like lure her
Mm-hmm.
in
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I think I
or
know what you're going for.
something like that
Yeah, so
in a
you're kind of
sense.
like you're trying not just to distract her as an as like a ventriloquist thing, but you're trying to kind of like trap her in a memory that she would like wander off towards, right? Yeah, sure. Let's have a roll for that. That's going to be a difficulty 3 roll. Enigma applies, nostalgic definitely applies, exchanges memories. So you have a full 66. If you want to apply a signature trait, which I have forgotten if we've defined yours or not. I think we
I
have.
I just kind of said looking,
yeah.
being able to
Yeah,
look like
exactly.
or sound like people from
So,
their memory.
if you don't apply it, you're at 66 against a difficulty of 3. If you do apply it, you would be automatically at 76 and would be able to spend scares to increase that pool. With, of course, the risk slash reward of double gain slash loss.
Let's go with the 7.
Okay. Going with the 76, applying the signature trait. So 76 against a difficulty of 3.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna get out another d6 for this just so that I don't have
Yep.
to re-roll one of our old. Okay. Okay, that is 1 success. Wow.
1 success against a difficulty of 3. Okay, so you do lose 4 scares for this.
Yeah.
But
We keep scaring ourselves.
you keep scaring yourselves, yeah.
How are these children so hard to kill? That was very isolated. Oh no.
This one would be more that Arya is like so annoyed that nothing else is going right that it's almost kind of like a distraction. She's so focused on everybody else doing nothing right that she's like, how am I going to clean up this mess?
Yeah. And it's like there's like this nostalgic voice of like someone from Alice's past like calling to her like Alice, but because you're like very annoyed at all of your companions like not succeeding in all of their tasks, it's like Alice. So it's like like Alice jumps a little and looks over, and everyone's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And she's like, "Did you hear that?" And they're like, "No, what?" And everything. And she kind of like starts wandering off, kind of like towards the back of the house where there's like both the bathroom and the back door where Roland is with the skillet. And we are going to use this kind of like as Alice like kind of like walks kind of confusedly down the hall and starts going towards the bathroom, but now everyone else is also kind of alert that something weird is going on. We are going to shift our focus to Argyle. Argyle, what are you doing as Roland kind of like opens the door? And as he opens the door, at first he doesn't see the crow because like the door this door would actually open outwards, yeah. So this door opens outwards. So at first he doesn't see the crow because it's like on the other side, and he kind of like steps out and is looking around and is like hello. And obviously the mist that Constance created to block the signal is still there, and so you're kind of like hiding in the mist and everything. He kind of like steps out and looks around, and he hasn't like that he is for sure going to find the crow. He just hasn't yet.
Okay, so I've also figured out a signature for him, so I'll get to that. So he is going to wait until Ronaldo or whatever his name was finds the crow.
Yeah.
And as Ricky finds the crow, Argyle is going to like emerge slightly from the woods and yeet his axe with the intention of landing it square in Ricky's back.
Beautiful.
And so this, I feel like this would definitely be Hunter and utilizes traps.
Absolutely, definitely.
Because I can't really.
Crow, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't really justify undead, but my idea is for his signature, he doesn't use the same weapon twice.
Okay.
So, because again, thinking Jason Voorhees, who I think only uses the same weapon a couple of times throughout the series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you look at it through all 10 movies, he uses a machete like twice.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I literally have him like in my head with a machete, like fixed.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So,
okay.
so yeah, he is going to use the axe and then not use it again.
Okay.
So
you are at a pool of 5d6 at the moment. The difficulty is going to be 3. You can spend 1 scare to get up to 66, or you can apply your signature trait to get more than 1 scare into that and more than 66.
okay, I'm trying to do some advanced calculus here, but
Yeah.
I'm bad at math. So I am going to use my signature trait and spend a scare to add spend 2 scares to add 2 extra d6. So I have 7.
So you
Is
have
that correct?
7. Yes, that is correct.
Okay. I'm using actual casino dice for this. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, hot diggity heck!
Nice. Love to hear that.
That
Sounds good.
That is 4 5s and 3 1s.
4 5s and 3 1s. So that's 4 out of 3. So you regain 2 scares because you are
Oh, hell
1
yeah.
above the 3 and your gains are doubled. So you're at a no net loss for this. So yeah, let's hear it. What does this look like as you absolutely demolish Roland?
So here is what I'm thinking. So I was trying to come up with more R names, but I can't.
Yeah.
So Roland comes out. He has the frying pan. He's looking around. He probably sees like the end of the knife sticking through the door.
That's what I
So
was thinking as well.
you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, like he opens the door and sees the crow, and as he is opening his mouth to say something, just this like rusty homemade axe comes flying through the air
Yeah.
and just embeds itself into his back.
Yeah.
And like not an immediately lethal blow, like enough of a lethal blow that he has time to like stumble back inside with this axe protruding from his back before plummeting. And if anyone is like there with him, like they would probably see Argyle like Homer Simpson his way back into the shadow again.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got like there's this moment like we first hear the very quick like as the axe is flying. It and before we get there, we get like the camera kind of like pans towards the mist, and there's this moment of slow motion where like the mist parts and little tendrils of it still kind of like hug the handle and the blade of the axe as it's spinning hand over head. And as it spins, like there's this like almost like a friend's embrace that departs from the axe as the tendrils of mist kind of move from it, and then the time speeds up as it like just buries itself into Roland's back, and he kind of like like as he's standing there looking at this crow and like starting to get scared, all of a sudden his posture like gets corrected as the axe like buries itself into his spine, and he kind of like stands up, and like there's this shock and pain and absolute silence on his face as he kind of like starts to gurgle a little bit as it all kind of like starts pooling up and coming out of his mouth, the blood and everything, and he kind of like stumbles back towards the house and kind of reaches out trying to call to his friends who are off in the kind of like front end of the house, and he just falls down with a heavy thud that everyone in the house definitely hears as he just lies there buried and sorry, not buried but dead, yeah, same thing. And Alice kind of like as she's reaching for the handle of the bathroom, she kind of like looks around, and like at first she doesn't even notice Roland because she's like looking up, and then like steps forward, and as she steps forward her foot kind of like pushes against Roland's body, and she kind of like looks down and looks up, and there's like this moment of intense eye contact between Argyle and Alice as he kind of like just steps back into the mist as it kind of like takes over again and hides his face. And
First blood.
First blood. And with that, we are going to go on a short break before we continue our slaughter. We're going to have a 10-minute break, if that is all right with everyone. And we'll be back in 10 minutes. Until then, enjoy some music on our off screen. See you in a bit.
Yeah.
And we are back. Welcome back. Hope you've had a nice little break. We are rejoining our crew just as first blood has happened. Roland is dead. Alice is screaming. People are running towards Alice. Does anyone have anything specific they want to do at this point?
Well, I was gonna, but then people started running towards Alice.
Well, let's
Damn.
see. Benny is definitely a person who is not the quickest on the uptick. So as everyone else is running towards Alice, he's kind of like just shouting. Like he's not running towards Alice. He's moving towards her. He's like walking and going, "Hey, babe, what's up?"
I just want to say I love this man's implacable accent.
Yep.
I don't know where this guy's from.
Nobody does. Not even he himself knows where she's from.
No.
Babe.
Babe.
Oh.
Constance would like to leave her place for the moment
Okay.
to put some poison on door handles and things.
Okay.
Ooh.
So she's moving to the next rooms, always searching for a shelf to hide on again.
Mm-hmm.
And while doing that, she's putting poison on door handles, glasses, whatever
Okay.
they might touch next.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So that is definitely using the fact that you're a witch and brewing shots. So you're already at 5d6 total. I'm going to say because you're using it, you're kind of like going from shelf to shelf and pretending to be a little statuette. We can apply tiny as well. So if you want, you can
Yay.
either. It is going to be difficult. It is going to be a difficulty 4 task because you're trying to kind of like get a whole huge surface area kind of poisoned. So it is going to be a difficulty 4 task. You can either have 66 or you can use your potions do random bullshit signature trait, which would automatically bump you up to 7d6 because you're adding all 3 of your traits. Or you can also spend scares to raise that pool above 7d6.
I would like to use that, and I think 7 dice is enough.
7 dice is enough? Okay. 7 dice against the difficulty of 4. Applying the signature trait.
Okay. It's not 7 we said, right? Okay.
Oh boy.
Me not like. That is only 3 successes.
That is only 3 out of 4 successes. Okay, so the good thing is you only lose 2 scares. So that was high enough that you're not too punished for your ballsy actions. But yeah, so you kind of like, as you're kind of like moving around and doing this, we're going to say that the one success that you're missing is actually going to be that they're going to discover you. You're not going to manage to hide quickly enough. You go around, you spread, like you first start off here, you put like some poison, you smear like this shot, like it's like a little shot glass that you have, but in the shot glass itself is like hand cream or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the
Glittering
Vaseline
hand
of death.
cream.
And you
Yeah.
you kind of like start like smearing it all over the place, and it's kind of like it's odorless, it's colorless, but it is a little bit fatty, and so it kind of like you smear it across the glasses, across the cups, the beer bottles. You go to a handle, you kind of like and then you kind of like you quickly go into the hallway and smear the handle of the entrance door, and then you turn around and you kind of you flip to the side and become a statue, and then you're like, okay, Roland thuds to the ground dead, and everyone like runs over to them, and you think, okay, good, now's your chance to go to the kitchen, because the kitchen is going to have the place where they're going to touch the most things. And as you kind of like run towards the kitchen, you realize not everyone ran to see Roland's corpse and to see what's going on with Alice. As you're kind of like rounding the corner, you just hear "babe," and you kind of like bump into the incredibly muscular shins, like actually muscular shins of Benny.
Mhm.
And he kind of like
Yeah.
looks down and he goes, "What the fuck, man?"
Also, I think I know why I lost my focus, because now we're in here. All the people are close, first blood and everything. So exciting, beautiful. She started singing while putting poison
Aha.
everywhere. She's moving through the house like la 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 la. A bit of here and a little bit there. And then when she sees that guy, she decides to throw everything on her appearance and looks him in the eyes with huge eyes like, "Oh my God, are you giant? Who are you?"
Okay. So the one thing that is going to happen is your secret identity has now been revealed. They are going to be aware of you, so we are no longer ignoring critical failures for you.
Me no like.
But he kind of like looks at you and it's like, um, what? And you go like, "Are you a giant?" And he goes, "Oh my God," and he just kicks at you. Um, so make me a roll. This is against a difficulty of 3. And try to argue how you manage to defend against this kick from. Well, actually, no. It's not going to be a difficulty of 3. I'm gonna roll as well, and we're gonna have a roll off. Um,
And I know exactly how I avoid being kicked. It's not me acting, it's my broom acting. It's a emergency whatever pre-installed program. So when
okay.
there's an attack against me, the broom stops working and then just dropping.
Okay, okay. So so we're using definitely Witch for the pre-programming of the broom, and I guess we're using Tiny for like the idea that if you drop low enough, he's gonna miss you because you're a hard target. So you have a 4d6, which is even. He also has a 4d6. So let's have a roll off.
Oh boy.
This feels important. I would
Okay.
like to use one scare.
Okay, you use a scare for 5d6. Yeah, sure thing.
Yep. Okay, that's okay.
And let's see what I roll.
Yeah.
You have 2 successes, and I got whoops. 0 successes. Excellent. This means that
Yeah.
you actually succeed against him. Now, obviously, this is a one shot, and we're doing
Emergency
it a little
broom.
bit quick. But usually, an NPC is also going to have like a pool of things. In this case, they don't have a pool. You can just like use this opportunity to either, if you want, you guys can always cooperate with one another if you want to do that. But you can use this opportunity to actually get rid of Benny. Also, because you succeeded in a 2 against 0, you gain 2 scares back.
Oh, okay.
So you are back up at, if I'm not mistaken, there she is. 8 scares.
I think Constance is more a prepper kind of monster, not an
Okay. Playing support.
throw axes at Beck's monster.
Very judgy.
So, yeah, she's evacuating towards the room where baby Peekaboo is still
Okay.
lying on the couch waiting for a hug.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of like you go off and he kind of like chases after you because he's like, "What the fuck?" And he's still trying to kick you, and you kind of like move under the couch. And as you move under the couch, he kind of like ducks and tries to get to you.
Does he touch a door handle?
He does not. The door was unfortunately open, but he's under the. He's kind of like looking and trying to reach at you from under the couch and ducking next to the couch.
Yeah, I swear at him.
Okay.
There's there's an open beer now on the table next to the couch. That surreptitiously when nobody's looking, Peekaboo has just been like
Okay, yeah.
pounding beers and then just like sit.
Yep.
That's a very Andy's coming moment.
Okay, you guys can now use like you can kill him in tandem if you like. I'm going to give narrative control over to you because Constance has succeeded against Benny, so Benny is dead. The question is, how is he dead? I leave it up to you guys.
So as he chases her under the couch and comes close to baby Peekaboo, his eyes will just snap open and it's like, "Hi, I'm baby Peekaboo. You want to be my special friend?" And then he's just gonna like launch himself at him and just like hug him, and then start to eat his face.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Amazing.
good.
Yep. Yeah. So you kind of like you jump on. Hi, I'm Baby Peekaboo. I do want to be my friend. And he just like at this point he kind of like snaps up. He's like still on his knees, but he like snaps up and looks at you and is like, "What the fuck?" And you just kind of like launch at his face. You hug him and you start like gnawing at his face. And there's like this sound of like essentially like hinged wood snapping over like skin and bone and cartilage as it's kind of like just demolished. Like this is not the sound and look of like a creature eating something. This is the sound of a wood chipper going to town on a creature. And it's just like there's like all of this like no, as it's going on. And Constance, you from underneath, kind of like you crawl out from underneath the thing, and as he's kind of like a little bit distracted by having his face gnawed off, you just kind of like pull out almost like double pistols, but for you it's like double test tubes, and you pull out double test tubes, spin them in your hands, and like put the stoppers out, and just like two streams of acid shoot out across his thighs and like just start melting bone and flesh from that side, and he just like collapses, screaming. Which obviously now the screaming is coming from both the living room and the back where Alice is, and this screaming kind of like dies off, and the kids are kind of like split off. So we've got two people still with Roland's body, like looking at it, and they're kind of like pulling him in, like still thinking they can help, which maybe is important for Argyle to know that the door has been left open at the moment. And then there's two kids who have kind of like moved into the hallway into the living room, trying to kind of see what's going. Or let's see, let's say they're still in the hallway at this like still moment in time. What do Arya and or Argyle wish to do?
I'll let Arya start off since I got first blood.
Let me know if I can't do any of this.
Let's see.
I want to I mean obviously leave the bathroom. But as she's leaving the bathroom, she's going to kind of like change appearance. I want it to be somebody that Alice deeply trusts.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody that she's like very familiar with, deeply trusts, whether it's from childhood or whatever. But as she talks, the tone in her voice is very cruel, very like very malicious in nature. Basically, what I'm doing is exchanging a good memory and turning it into a bad memory. And she kind of just like tisks and is like, and this is the part that I'm not sure if I can do or not, because I may be overstepping the bounds of what our characters could be capable of doing.
Because obviously we're bound by logic here.
Yeah, right, totally. Is it possible to make it to where, because the other person might be paying attention to Roland's body more, Alice is the only person that can see and hear Arya in this moment?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay. So in that case, then Arya would walk out.
That is kind of like the maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, but the vibe or like the idea that I am getting from Arya's concept is that it's almost like a sort of an isolation demon where
Yeah.
like it's like she targets a person, she isolates them and then like specifically kind of pollutes their memories and plagues them and kind of like eats them from the inside
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that sort of way. Like that's what I'm imagining. So I imagine that whenever you like specifically pick a person and start like impersonating people from their past and everything, I'm imagining that you can choose either to like be there like you were as the as Janice McPherson, or you can like so that everyone can see you and react to you, or that you can like choose to just have like this tunnel vision thing where only that one person can perceive you.
Yes, that exactly. I'm glad we are on the same page on that because that's what I was kind of thinking
Excellent.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, so she'll step out of the bathroom and then her appearance will change into someone that Alice is supposed to really trust. But there's like kind of like that cruel kind of sneer or smirk on
Mm,
her lips, and when she speaks, her tone is very condescending
mm-hmm.
and like cruel, and malicious. And she's like, "Alice, Alice, has the madness set in already?" And she's kind of like walking, trying to like walk like kind of behind, but almost trying to like kind of circle around,
Mm-hmm.
like a predator circling
Yeah,
around
yeah, yeah, yeah.
prey,
Gotcha, gotcha.
basically.
Yeah, and she kind of like
Um,
let's have
and
a
trying to find an opening for like a kill,
mm-hmm.
i.e., like she Arya says she doesn't want to get her hands bloody. She lied, because now she's jealous and petty, and like I'm thinking a kill in the sense of like if it happens and if I'm able to like sinking sharp nails into
Yeah,
throat.
yeah, yeah,
Sort
yeah.
of thing.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna. Oh, I have the perfect idea. So first of all, this is going to be a roll off. She's going to be defending with 4d6.
Okay.
Um, you pretty much exchanges memories, nostalgic, enigma, all of it applies as far as I can see. So you can either stick to the 66 with the cap, or applying your trait, you can go up to 76 automatically, or spend scares to go more than 76.
Mm, do I even have another d6 there? Oh, I did. Yeah.
That shouldn't be the
Oh.
problem.
I think I'm gonna use at least one scare to go up
Okay.
to 8 if I remember.
Yep, that is fine.
And then we'll see if this works. Or
Yeah,
if this goes
we'll see if this works.
miserably wrong.
Hey, high risk, high reward.
I only got one success.
You only got one success. Well, luckily for you, so did Alice.
Well, there's something.
So you don't regain any scares, but you do manage to kill her.
Yay.
You kind of you walk around, and as you kind of like transform into this person that she innately trusts, you realize that it is the coach of her debate team. Alice was valedictorian. She was top of her class when she finished. Her debate coach really helped her get into like a prestigious university. You know, she's like an honor student on the top track, and you just turn into this person and you just lay into her like thick, and she like goes, what do you mean? And like she completely starts like losing herself to this, especially with like has the madness set in, and she's like very confused, and like she's trying to kind of summon up all of this ability to count to give you counter arguments, but this situation is so strange and so weird that like she's not finding logical arguments because they just fall, and you just like keep coming closer and closer to her, and there's like this moment where you just keep laying thick into her, like how she was never anything you like she never had any chance of success without you. You are the one who taught her everything she knew, and if you hadn't been around she would have amounted to nothing, and that is showing now, and you're like laying it thick into the doubts that she has now that she's like confronted with the difficulty of university education as opposed to like what high school was, and like and like that she's even like so weak that she chose like for a partner someone who is so dumb so that she didn't have to argue, kind of like laying it thick in the sense of like she chose someone whom she was always automatically going to win an argument against just so that she didn't get challenged or threatened, because she just like insecurities, and like you keep coming closer and closer and closer, and then at some point you kind of like just reach out, and like there's like this moment of like, but don't worry, like I'm here for you, like a gentle moment, like with a hand against her cheek, and then there's just like this subtle slip, and then the nails just come out and pierce through her throat, as she kind of like falls down. Uh, or like for a moment she stays, like for a moment she's only supported by the strength of your arm, as your claws are kind of like out extended through her neck, and like then you kind of retract them and she like crumbles to the ground. And this is a good opportunity for you to also kind of like fade back into that amorphous thing of like being no one, or you can choose to be someone, because the two people who are here don't know what happened to Benny or to the other two who are in the living room. Well, one person now, because Alice is dead.
I think until I can think of a further plan beyond this, kind of just gonna start fade back into like shifting,
Yep.
and kind of
Yeah.
try to stick to the shadows
Absolutely.
again.
Sure. Argyle, what are you doing?
Very smug and satisfied though.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought of a very classic one. So
Okay.
they're all, well, yeah, the survivors,
Yeah.
we'll say, because we have already murked half these kids.
Yes.
They're in the kitchen checking out Ronald.
Yeah, like they've pulled him in, and they're like, they'll have pulled him because the first aid kit was in the kitchen, so they will have pulled him into the kitchen, and they're checking it. Well, one of them now, because Alice went out, because it was Alice and Mike who stuck with Roland, and it was Betty and Faith who went off to check on Benny. So Betty and Faith are in the living room at the moment, and now it's just Mike in the kitchen with dead Roland.
Okay, so if I may do a bit of a narrative,
Okay.
my idea would be, so they have to go close to a window for something, like, I don't know, maybe they're going to the sink to get some rags or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
I would like to punch through the window, grab them, and then drag them, like, not all the way to the window, but let's just say to where, I don't know, if someone were to pull down, perhaps there might be some glass that would go into their net.
Yep, gotcha. Okay, well, we're going to make this a roll-off against Mike. That's 4 dice for Mike.
Yes.
Tell me what you're using. So I'm going to say Hunter, obviously. I'm going to say Undead applies here as well, because you don't have the fear of, like, glass cutting you or whatever, because, like, that's just nothing. So Undead applies. Can you argue for traps in some way?
Well, I'm waiting for him to get close to a window, so I don't know if that would be
Okay,
traps,
yeah,
or if
sure.
that would.
We can call that a thing, definitely. So you would be up to 66 without your trait, or 76 with it, plus the ability to apply scares too.
I will say, since this is a unique kill, I will apply my trait.
Okay, so you're automatically at a 76. You can spend scares to increase that pool.
I think I'm good at this.
Okay.
Yeet. Get hacked. Mark. That is 3 5s.
3 5s.
And-
That is
Yep.
beautiful. That is 2 above what he rolled. He rolled a 1. So you are going to regain 4 scares due to this.
Holy hell!
Ooh.
I'm at 11 of 10.
Yep.
I like the consistency of not calling any of the characters by their
Oh
actual
yeah,
name, by the way,
absolutely.
Joe.
No, never called her the same name. No. So yeah, you kind of like there's like this moment where Mike like there's this long time, and this is where your the fact that you are undead and a hunter and use traps, like all of this patience needs to be layered thick because Mike is for someone who is like just like a very skinny, very goth looking kid, right? Like there's it's all just like black and gothic and lace and gloves and everything on him. He's like really upset about Roland being dead. Um, and like he's trying to revive him. He's turned him like he's at some point like managed to kind of like get the axe out and it's clattered off somewhere to the side, and then he's turned him around and like is trying to resuscitate him because he just like doesn't know better. And he's like essentially what he's doing is like he's just pumping more of the blood out of the wound that's in the back. So there's like this pool that's kind of like forming around him, and at some point he realizes that finally this guy is dead. You know, he cannot revive him, and he's just like looking at his hands, which are just like completely covered in blood, and like at his knees because he's kneeling down in this puddle, and he just like starts like getting really nervous about it, and he like looks goes towards the closet and like gets some rags and moves out and goes to the sink and like starts washing his hands and is doing it, and like you know this trick, you know, you still are not appearing to him because you know that now he's still on edge, but at some point you find that moment where his focus zones in on just this task of having to scrub his hands clean, right? Like there's this one moment where all else in the world fades because he cannot deal with the trauma of everything around him, and he's just like scrubbing with this rag at his hand, and this is the moment where there's like this shattering of glass as this giant undead hand just reaches through the window, grabs him by the throat and starts pulling him, and is such a surprising moment that he doesn't even get to react as you kind of like just pull him out through the window. And you're so quick with this that you pierce through the glass, and before the glass has even realized that it is subject to gravity, you are pulling his neck towards it. So as the glass starts falling down, it falls directly across his neck, and you kind of like as you're pulling him, there's this one moment where the body kind of like catches on the sink in the counter, and because the glass has already started shearing through the neck, you rip the head apart, and you're just like standing outside with the head in your hands and the body just like slumped over the sink, bleeding out over the windowsill.
Oh,
Oh, that gives me an idea for my next turn if these other two survive.
oh no.
And we move back to the living room where Betty and Faith are freaking out over the wood chippered, acid melted body of Benny. And at this point, all of you are free to kind of like congregate on the two of them because they are in this room at this point.
Yeah, Peekaboo's still playing with his food.
Oh, okay.
So like he's just kind of shaking him around like, hey, you ever do body shots? And he's gonna grab a bottle of tequila, and he's gonna like reach down and like pop out an eye, and like pour tequila in the eye socket, and then tilt the head back and just kind of, and then swallow the eyeball and kind of chew them. So much better than olives. I don't know who came up with that shit. You want one?
Oh my god, beautiful.
I thought you meant Baby Hugs-a-Lot's eyes at first.
Okay, yeah, so the girls are absolutely fucking freaking out. They are screaming. They are like, what the fuck is going on? Well, one of the Betty is like, sorry, Faith. Faith is like screaming and in shock and like just like screaming her heart out. And Betty has like assumed like some weird kind of like symbol with her hands and has started like doing this very quick like prayer to like some sort of new age religion goddess of like power and emancipation, and like this is like very much someone who has drunk a little bit too much of the witch Kool-Aid but hasn't like gone to a proper tradition. Like she just like cobbled things together in a very new age way, and
Facebook witch.
yeah, Facebook witch essentially, yeah.
I have a new target. I personally hate those characters. Pick
Yeah.
something and stick with it.
Beautiful.
So seeing that, Peekaboo will start wandering over to the one that's freaking out and panicking. He's like,
Yeah.
Dad, there's no use crying over spilled Mike. Wait, was that one Mike? And then he is going to hug her, or like by the legs, I assume, because I assume he's she's standing, and just tackle her to the ground. Part of his he hugs is he is freakishly strong for his size. He is
Oh, yeah.
the average strength of like a an adult man. So is going to try and throw her to the.
Okay, so that is going to be, let's see, doll and hugs. We can apply both because this is very much like, as you said, like he's a doll, but he has the strength of an adult man. So we've got 5d6 there. You can spend scares. You can. I don't think friendly applies here.
Probably not. He did offer condolences, but
He did offer condolences, but I don't think it's
Trying
enough.
to
in this
comfort her.
as he was
Actually,
chewing on
you
an
know what?
eyeball.
If you hadn't done the body shot, I would have even allowed it. But like with the body shot, no way in hell that the condolences are
fair.
enough.
No, that's totally fair. I think 5 is fine. I'll stick with
Okay,
5.
yeah. She's rolling with 4, so let's have a roll off.
Actually, I'll spend one. I'll spend one scare.
Okay,
I'll do a full 6.
you're a full 6. That's fine.
That is one success.
That is one success. Well, luckily, she got none.
These kids
By
suck at
sheer luck,
surviving.
we are mutilating these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So you do get one scare back because you beat her by 1. And
Nice.
yeah, so you kind of like you tackle her to the ground and like you hug her and you like start hugging her and there's like this moment. It's not there's like a creaking and there's a sense of dislocation as the knees kind of like pop off to the inside, to the sides, as you kind of like hug really hard, and she just like falls to the ground. And as she does, she like looks at you and she starts like flailing around, but her legs like really hurt and don't work quite as well. So she's trying to like kind of like push you off and kick you away. Meanwhile, Betty is kind of like has stopped praying and is like looking at you, and she like reaches out for like whatever glass or something she finds on the table, and she like grabs the bottle and like starts like kind of hitting you over the head with it. Let's have a roll. Well, no, we had like you had 3 successes, right, on your poisoning thing. You had 3 out of 4, and then you were discovered.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. There was a difficulty 4 because you were spreading the poison all over the place, and you got 3, which is why the 1 failed success was actually Benny finding you out. So I'm gonna roll against that difficulty of 3 for Faith. Faith rolls 0 successes. So Constance, you gain 3 scares, and you can say how how Betty dies, or what the poison does and what someone else does to kill Betty. That's also fine. Like I said, you guys can always do kills in concert, in tandem.
Constance will definitely leave the place underneath the couch and flies up so that the other guy in the room also can see her. Then she screams, "Ever seen a real witch, bitch?" And then she's doing some weird movements with her hands and doing some weird talking so that it seems like not the poison, but it seems like she's doing a trick.
Okay.
Or something
Like a
magic.
spell or something, yeah.
Yeah, she's doing something like a spell, and then the poison starts working. And at first, it's not too bad. It's like just a bit. She feels that it's sticky and it's weird, and she throws the bottle away because it's not what she was supposed to, and she's like trying to brush off the sticky feeling. And wherever she brushes it, there also starts this feeling, and the more she tries to get rid of it, the more it starts eating her flesh. And so she's
Okay, so there's like
petting
this moment where
herself
you
to
kind of
death.
like zoom up on your little broom, and you as you kind of like zoom up, Faith kind of like looks at you. Sorry, Betty. Betty looks at you, and Faith is like screaming at both baby Peekaboo at this point and the little witch like flying up, and Betty like looks at you and she stops mid hit on baby Peekaboo, and kind of like looks at you, and you go like, "Have you ever seen a real witch, bitch?"
Yep.
And like she like goes, like, "Oh my god!" And like it almost for a moment seems like you are talking absolute fucking gibberish, right? Like there's no rhyme or reason. This is not a spell, but she recognizes the curse because well, she's a Facebook witch, so. She recognizes the curse and she's like, "Oh no, not the spell!" And then at some point she like feels the her flesh start to kind of like melt away from the bottle. The bottle falls down and she sees it and she like starts screaming and it's like, "No, no!" And she she like runs over to the table and like she grabs the cup of tea with her left hand and like pours it all over the melting hand, but as it crosses like the edge of the mug it also gets poisoned, and so it's like starts spreading across her hand, and she's like looking in horror as like her entire flesh and skin and tendons and everything is melting away, and there's like just like this bone of her hand, like just this bone white of the skeleton is just like in front of her as she's like looking at it, and she like runs out of she turns around and starts running away and runs out of the living room, and she runs directly into Arya. And Arya, you see like this Facebook witch kind of like slowly melting from the poison. What do you do to finish her off?
Oh, I'm gonna be really mean, and I'm allowed to do this because I am a witch and a pagan. I just want that to be real clear. So I'm allowed.
Hell yeah.
Um, since it could technically be considered a memory of sorts, Arya is going to let her appearance change into whatever, like, uh, because obviously it like Facebook witch probably not actually a real god that anybody follows, but whatever this like false patron of hers is supposed to look like, that is what Arya's appearance changes into. So again, turning a good memory and making it into something bad. And with just like that again, that kind of like sneer on her face, is just like, you were never going to really be one of my followers, darling. And like that is like definitely blocking the door. As for like the final kill, I mean, like I already went for the throw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull a Once Upon a Time and reach for the chest to like pull her heart out.
And I think this is like more. This is. Do you want it to be like visceral or do you want it more symbolic?
No, I definitely want it to be visceral.
Okay, so yeah, there's like this moment where you manifest in front of her, and for a moment there's like this relief and this hope in her in her eyes as you see her, and you say, "You were never gonna be one of my followers." And there's like this moment where you just see her, like she was holding her hand and like screaming this entire time, and then at some point holding it like this, and then at some point both arms just kind of like go limp, and she just like listlessly looks at you, like she slumps a little bit into shoulders, and you kind of like you press your hand gently on her chest, and like there's like this beating heartbeat that can be felt, like this thump thump from beyond the rib cage, and she kind of like looks at you, and as you place your hand on her heart, you kind of like your hand just kind of like almost smoothly sinks in, like there's nothing, like it's almost like a gas or mist permeating through the skin and the bone, and once you're inside you kind of like feel and you cup the heart, and there's this like this moment where the heart beats a little bit in your hand, and even though it's not a real deity that she believes in, you are manifesting as it to her, so there's like this entirely like private and personal moment for her where she actually believes like, oh, maybe you are going to save her, maybe you are going to cure her somehow, you have her heart in your hand. And then there's just like this explosion of blood and bone and viscera as everything just like falls apart as you just yank it out of her chest immediately. These tendons and arteries just kind of like stretch out a little bit, like so much melted grilled cheese, and then snap. And as they do, like there's just like blood squirting everywhere. The walls of the house are painted as you hold the heart. That just like has this one last thump thump as it also finally realizes that it no longer lives.
I think immediately after that, Arya would like let the appearance fade and just kind of with like a gross look, be like, "I hate false believers," and drops the heart and is like,
Yeah. Absolutely, like yucky. And just to add a little bit, because Betty is kind of like as good as dead, being like gnawed on from the knees up from Baby Peekaboo. I'm gonna say like there's this moment in this struggle because she's trying to constantly like kick away from Baby Peekaboo, and like you guys have kind of like rolled over towards the grandfather clock, and as she's kind of like trying to kick you away and everything, you've managed to kind of like position her around, and like there's this moment where she's kind of like flailing and trying to push you away, and she manages to kind of like not so much push you away because you have this freakish strength, but she pushes herself away from you, and as she does, her head kind of like pierces through the glass of the grandfather clock, or like it like bursts through like the door. Like the door itself opens like two little winged on towards the inside weirdly, and as it does, there's this trigger that happens from a trap that has been set within the grandfather clock, and as it does, there's like the handles immediately of the clock like go around and strike midnight, and as it strikes midnight there's like this loud ringing bell, and a guillotine from behind the grandfather clock just falls down and descends on Betty, and just scalps her.
"Hell yeah!"
One of the
Well,
more
time's up.
one of the more obscure traps that Argyle has set.
Nice.
And all of these screams and panic and all of this that has happened is like it dies down, right? Like there's this silence that befalls the house, and there's just like this, for you guys, comfort in this silence, because no living creature is allowed to exist in this house, not for long anyway. And you have completed your task. You have managed to get rid of these intruders. You have fed the house. And even as you are looking at it, the house itself is absorbing the bodies. And as they are slowly melting into the floorboards and like being consumed, where there's actual like body left, like the floorboards kind of like open up and they sink through to the basement and start being like buried in the ground, added to the pile of corpses that has accumulated over the years and centuries. And the blood kind of like soaks into the boards and things start moving around. The grandfather clock resets, the doors close, the window, the glass kind of like reassembles itself in the kitchen window. All of the damage that has been done to the house starts repairing itself. All of the furniture that has been moved kind of like moves back. The beer bottles and cups and everything, they kind of like find their way towards like various bits and pieces where they were kept. And there is this one moment where you are kind of filled with this comfort, this kind of like sense of accomplishment. And you are rewarded. You are all given your portion of the souls from the dark heart of the forest. And you are also, for your extreme efficiency, awarded a couple of more nights of being awake to spend in the house as you please, enjoying.
Well,
The last kill was technically mine if you think about it.
Oh, come on, it was teamwork.
Do we really need to argue about it? They're
No,
dead.
it was teamwork.
Hey, you ever make shots that don't melt people's faces?
Not very often, no.
Like a
What would
mixology
be the
kind of
fun
thing?
in that?
We need a bartender.
Do we?
I mean,
Fine,
I
I guess
could
I gotta
try
do
to be a
everything.
bartender, but I can't promise anything.
Argyle's gonna look at the head of the goth guy and just be like, I was really wanting to throw this at someone. He's just gonna toss it in the fireplace where I assume the house eats it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you want Argyle to be collecting trophies, I'm sure the house leaves him a trophy, like the cleaned
Oh.
up skull or something.
Oh, hell yeah. But yeah, he is definitely going to get his axe and, like, with the little ceremonial dagger he has, he's going to put 2 more notches in the handle.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Peekaboo will drain every drop of alcohol in the house for however long that takes, and then waddle his way back into the woods and crawl back into his tree, and will gingerly lift the skeletal remains of the child and hug it and fall back asleep.
No.
Harrowing. Cute and harrowing.
That was the
Uh-huh.
most terrifying thing your character has
Yeah.
done. Mr. Morgan.
Yeah.
I think Arya would probably just kind of like, when it comes time for their time to
Yeah.
be up, would kind of like pat the door from the house and be like, "Thanks for the fun, old friend," and then disappear back into the mist shadows of the forest.
Argyle will go to the vehicle that all these young adults came in, and he's probably going to take a pry bar, maybe a tire iron, kind of heft it a bit, and be like, "Yeah, this one could be interesting." And he will slink back off
I'm
into the
sure
woods.
You find like, I mean, this is America. I'm sure you find like a shotgun or
Yeah.
something in the trunk of that car as well.
I definitely
That's for
thought you were
cowards.
gonna go for a joyride there for a second.
I was tempted.
just drive off. Like, fuck that.
But forgot about the tree, and so
Forgot
just
about the
immediately
tree.
crashes. Yeah.
Well, hey, he's undead. Wouldn't phase him very much.
Like that is actually how Argyle returns to his resting place. Like, he tries to escape every time, and every time he falls for one of his own traps and ends up back. Where he-
Oh, I love it. Yeah, 100%.
Undead Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
like fully like, oh, look, this car is fully functional, fully gassed. Time to get the hell out of here. Oh shit, there's a tree. And just like catapults back into the clearing where he rose up from.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Yes.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Constance is enjoying the rest of the night, waiting for the sun to start crawling up the sky, and then she's searching for a crow. I think she has 2 or 3 crows that she likes, and then she puts her broom somewhere where they can find it and put it in their nest, and then she just vanishes and is very happy.
Perfect.
That was a good night.
Wonderful.
I like that this ended on a hopeful gaze into the
Yeah,
sunset.
absolutely. You gotta end up on a high note.
It's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's sitting on the top of the roof and seeing, oh yeah, Argyle's again trying to, that didn't look good.
Oh, that's his
God.
tibia. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, she's watching everyone leave, and then
Yeah.
she's enjoying the last view of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sun rises on the house, and the property goes back online for Scarebnb. And
I completely forgot this name.
and the property, the cabin in the woods, is back up for rent on Scarebnb as managed by Janice McPherson. And that is where we end tonight's one shot.
Yeah.
Thank you so
We
much.
really
That was
should have
fun.
put like a content warning at the start of this.
Yeah, that fair.
Yep.
Fair.
Probably.
Yeah, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
I was thinking that when I was shooting the crow out of the.
Yeah.
We can do it for the
One
VOD. The
shot,
problem
I
is we
feel
were
like
improvising.
Yeah.
That yeah.
I hadn't planned to mix alcohol and eyeballs. It just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I was not expecting that. Like, there was no point in time where I knew where that sentence was gonna go, and where it took us was absolutely fucking beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah. But yeah, I like this system. It's fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, it works really well, especially for like an improvisational session like that.
Yeah, that was the idea. Just
Yeah.
like make a
Perfect.
system that's very kind of like easy to make, because like you make the characters on the fly, and you can make the world whatever whatever you want it to be.
Mm.
I got to make a vague Alice in Wonderland fun, so I'm content.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I don't know
fun.
if anybody else noticed that was what that was when I said that line, but
I couldn't
was very
find
proud of
the Mad
myself for
Hatter
that
gift that I
delivery.
wanted, so I skipped it. But
Yeah, I thought I was making a Friday the 13th reference, but then during break I realized, oh no, that was a Rambo reference, which also kind of fits.
Yeah,
eh,
it does.
I mean,
'Cause
if
it, like-
you put a mask on John Rambo,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
just exchange like the terrorists or like the enemies for like just kids in the woods, and
just
that's
random
Rambo.
kids.
Yeah.
yeah, Rambo is just the Jason Voorhees of
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Sure,
Rambo
yeah.
is like one political sentence away from being a slasher fic.
Oh boy! All right.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's tell us who we are and where people can find us. Alice, why don't you kick us off? Or Alice, sorry, Alice is dead.
Oh yeah, that's true. I just said it. Yeah, mixed up my brain. Hi, I'm Alice Williams. You can find me on, I forgot, itch.io, Blue Sky. Think that's it. It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning for me, so excuse that. Usually I draw maps and fancy stuff and create things. And I now remembered that last year I wrote a setting for this exact system, for this exact setting.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
it's still on itch, yeah. I think it's just that the players play humans and
Oh yeah,
the
that's right.
GM plays the monsters and yeah. It's up there. It's ready for Halloween.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Adam.
hi, I'm Adam, better known as Soulbind most places on the internet. You can find me at soulbind.card.co. It's got links to all my socials and my VO demo reels and some music and random other TTRPG stuff that I've been involved with. So go and check it out if you like. There are significantly less homicidal murder babies, but there could be more in the future.
Wonderful. Glitch.
I love this place. Hey everybody, I'm Glitch, aka Glitch Chaotic, pretty much everywhere on the internet, or some variation of that. When I'm not vaguely dying, I am a cosplayer and a streamer. But October is hitting and the weather is changing, and so my body refuses to function normally. So I have not streamed in a hot second. I'm hoping to get back into it this next week. I may just not function off of a schedule like I was before and just play whenever I feel like I can. We're still playing through Marvel's Midnight Suns, and then Hades 2, now that it has been released, we'll play through that to completion of the story, which might take a while, but that's why that's my second game and not my story game. New cosplays will kind of be in the works, as I can get them. I am broke, so if you want to commission me for art pieces or like even like maybe cosplay things or patterns or anything of the sort, that will fund new cosplays. Homestuck, the pilot animation just dropped, and so I am fully diving back into that. If you know me from my old Homestuck days, look forward to better versions of those cosplays now that it's been like 10 years. Most of my projects you can find on my card, which is just glitchchaotic.card.co. I'm sprinkled in a whole bunch of my friends' projects and the like. Mostly you can find me here on Would Be Heroes, joining everyone's campaigns. Eventually I'll have my own campaigns to run someday, somehow, some way. Who knows? But for now, that's all for me.
Alrighty. And last and certainly, no, I'm just kidding. John.
I was about to frickin' say, okay, I am John. I can be found on just about everything else that Would Be Heroes does. I am running the Twilight Labyrinth game where Glitch is a part of it.
Mesa, time.
Yeah. I will also be running a bi-weekly Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign coming up soon. I also have my own podcast, Bacon Flavored Pods, where we are currently in the middle of a Mecha vs. Kaiju campaign and at the start of a Beacon campaign set in the world of Final Fantasy XII. D is a part of both of those. I can also be found on my friend's Twitch channel where... Twitch is... More Immortal? There we go. Where I don't know what we'll be playing next, but we'll be playing something. And I also draw for money if you have too much money and need to draw up desperately. I can do that. Like, just
It is good to draw.
Also,
go get the draw.
Yes. Also, probably in I don't know, an hour or such. Like before the end of today, there is going to be a very sloppy drawing of the Spook Crew going up on my Blue Sky, which is at Crim's Bacon, if I didn't mention that. Yeah, I think that's me. I blather to the point where I don't know what I have and haven't said.
Beautiful. Well, last and certainly least, I have been D, your Night Wanderer. I have been your DM for this and the creator of this game. You can find me on Twitch, on Blue Sky, on all other things under Night Wanderer. That's Wanderer with an O. On Twitch, I stream thrice a week, mostly 2 evenings and 2 evenings on the workdays, Central European time, and 11 a.m. on Sundays, Central European time. Currently, we are playing Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. So a very wild spread of games at the moment, which is really fun, especially comparing the modernity of Star Wars with the olden game design of Stubbs and Vampire the Masquerade. You can also find my stuff on itch.io. That is also where you will find this particular system. Not necessarily the Cabin in the Woods, though I might at some point also make a little write-up of that and finish it, but you will find the skeleton of 123d6 as well, or the SRD or whatever you want to call it, as well as I think I've made 2 little games for it just as samples to showcase kind of what it does. One is I think for vampires and the other is for doggies, so there's that. The system is absolutely free. You are encouraged to get it, download it, bust it as much as you want. It's only covered by an attribution license or whatever those are called. I just need you basically to say that I'm the one who made the original system and you just do your stuff. It's all fine. That is not it. You can find me on Ben Ubon Cybertopia Pod. We are wrapping up season 2 now. You can find me on John's Bacon Flavored Pod, where I'm playing Augustus Crimp in the Mecha vs. Kaiju game, and Corvin, the inexorable epitaph in the Final Fantasy game. You can find me here DMing, usually in this slot every other Saturday. Like I said, today we had a little bit of a different thing, but usually it's Gilded Age, a cipher system game about nascent heroes in a world entirely unprepared for them. On the other Saturdays, usually when things allow, you can find me playing the Call of Cthulhu game, as well as apparently sometimes we do Scum and Villainy when we don't do Call of Cthulhu, because things like we do a lot of games on this channel. Check them out. I think that is for the most part it. I don't think I'm in anything else. But yeah, check out all of the awesome stuff that these amazing players do. Check out the Survivor horror mod of 123D6 by Alice. Get some awesome Glitch and John art. Awesomely, like honestly, like those two really draw amazing stuff. You can see both of their character art is done by themselves in the Cypher System Gilded Age game. So any of the VODs of that, you can find them doing that. And I mean, you know, what can I say about Adam? He's the fucking Renaissance when it comes to voice. That will have been us. We are going to raid out into Dungeon Dropouts, who are playing a Dungeons and Dragons game, I assume, because it says Dungeons and Dragons. It's called A Dark, Dark Road, Part 2. So that sounds interesting and fitting for the season. So let's go raid them. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. We appreciate the ever-living daylights out of each and every single one of you. Bye-bye.
Bye.